Yeah, and we supposed to save souls, but I guess we would rather imitate what we putting on them grave clothes. To the moves on the chain, no. To the whole world is just an image. If you ain't, oh Lord, still in your life winners. I can't believe my life to the city. Just those in the night, yeah, even tripping in coalition. I'm just on the beat like him. Ready on the beat, yeah, you know I'm killing, but it ain't about contrary to the feelings. Yeah. I say that I love them, I know. I'm still all about them wherever I go. Yeah. These rappers remove them from all of their songs and all of their shows. They trying to get on, but my life is on. I'll do this alone.
All right. Come on, everybody. Check this out. You know, this early this morning, I was when I was praying, and I was asking God, you know, just talking to God just about everything that was going on and what has been taking place during these moments. And the only thing that God keeps putting in my mind is this love, this peace, unity, justice. Just some things that we need just some things that we need to begin to practice at a time like this, you know, with everything going on, with all the riots and all the destruction that is taking place. I think we're forgetting about one important aspect, and the important aspect that we're forgetting is George Floyd and what has taken place during this time. You know, it was a man, we all see that was an innocent man. He was caught over something dumb, and he died over something that was dumb. You know, and there's something that we have to take a look at and come across at this time. And we have to really ask ourselves, is all this stuff that's happening, is it really necessary? Some people believe it is, and some people believe it's not. I have a personal message during this thing, and that personal message is love. That personal message is peace. It's unity, and it's justice. It's the four things that we need during this time. Of course, I am a Christian man. Glory be to God. I am a saved man. I am a man that is about the Bible and is about the Word of God. And there's something that we have to look at during this time, and we have to ask ourselves: is what is taking place? Is it glorifying God? Now I know, and hopefully, hopefully, there ain't no Christians, that there ain't nobody out there that's saying that they love God and that they want to live for God, and hopefully there ain't nobody out there causing the destruction. There's a lot of things that are taking place out there, and there's a lot of different beliefs and stuff that is taking place during this time that we could come up with. Is it planned? Is it orchestrated? Is it something that is happening during this moment that is striking up something for martial law or for anything like that? Well, this is pretty much an open talk, and this is actually taking place on Zoom, and this is something that is open for anybody who wants to participate, anybody that wants to come in and make a statement. I'm going to give you guys the meeting ID. The meeting ID is 841-1005-4253. Again, that's 841-1005-4253. But this is I have to really just take a look at a time like this, and we have to be, we need to do something about peace. We want peace, but do we give peace? We got to ask ourselves, are we giving what it is that we expect back in return? Do we give respect? Do we want respect? There's so much hatred going on. There's hatred between races, between whites, Mexicans, blacks, Chinese, Asians. I mean, you can go on. There's racism all the way around the clock. No matter which way you look at it, there's racism in everywhere and every place. There's in some way, shape, or form, racism is taking place, prejudice is taking place, stereotyping is taking place, and the problem with it is that the moment racism, prejudice, stereotype, anything like that takes place, the moment it takes place, it's amount of disrespect. It's amount of disrespect. It's amount of disrespect that offends people. It hurts people. I love some of the things that we have to look at. We have to understand something, that number one, racism isn't something that you're not born with it. You're taught it. You're taught. You're trained or groomed with it. And we have to look at ourselves, and we have to look at things, and we have to really do some self-checking. I know that during this time, there's many things that can be taking place, that there was racism taking place, that when the cop killed George Floyd, justice for him. I pray in all accounts that George gets justice, that the family and everybody could rest assured. I pray that takes place, because there's no doubt in our mind what everybody's seeing. And it was shot at different angles. There was different angles. There was different video angles, and nobody can deny what was being said to what actually took place. Again, this is an open platform. This is a Zoom meeting. So if you guys have Zoom and you guys want to join in, and you guys just want to make a statement, let it be respectful. Number one, we're here for is to be respectful. It's not a place where no cursing, nothing like that, but a place that you can make a statement about today and what's happening. Or something that you just may want to discuss based on these times. I know that during these times that this is I look at these things and I'm just like, man, you know what? This is a time that we should all be out. We should be protesting. This is a time for protesting. But I think we need to do it in the right form. I don't think that destroying businesses, I don't think putting buildings on fire, we need to put away the weapons. We need to put away the destruction. Is there, I looked at some things today and I read some things, and, don't know how how strong the source is, but I read a thing today talking about, that last night, and I believe it was in Minneapolis, that there was 80% of the people that were arrested were white people. And they were a part of an organized white group. I don't know how true it is, but you know, are they causing or making a scene so that it could be blamed elsewhere? We really have to take a look at these things. You know, I have to say, in a lot of forms and in a lot of ways, even for if it is different, different groups, really check yourself. You guys want America to be great. You guys want things to happen. You guys want new things, but if you guys understood that literally, if you stopped coming against the opposite race, there could be so much unity, there would be so much strength to take place over here in the US. We would be able to be strong. We would be able to stand together. I love that, standing together, but united, divided we fall. United we stand, and divided we fall. I love that statement because it's true. If we can all come together, come to a grounds of peace, come to a grounds of respecting each other, coming to a grounds of respecting each other's backgrounds, and respecting each other's diverse living, and just everything, just in that nature. If we could come together in a time like that, there would be so much peace happening. There would be our nation would have so much strength that it would build, that we would be able to build the United States. That would make us so strong. That would create a strength upon the United States that nobody would be able to come against. Whites, Asians, Mexicans, all the Hindus, Indians, everything. If every race can literally come to a place of peace, and come to a place of friendship, and come to a place of understanding, man, we would build the United States to be an awesome place. Imagine a place of love. Imagine a place of peace. Imagine a place of unity. Imagine a place that justice would serve above all else. There's several things that I see during these protesting. I love the peaceful protests. The protests where they're out there, and they're sending a message of love. And there's many races out there, and not just many races, different religions. Mormons and the Jewish, the Judaisms, and the Mormons, and there was the Christians are out there. There's so many different religions and beliefs that have actually came together and rallied together for justice for George Floyd. But then here's the problem, is that later on in the day, who are all these looters? Who are all these people that are causing vandalism? Who are all these people that are just coming out and causing destruction? At that point, it no longer becomes about George Floyd. At that point, it no longer becomes about the real reason why it all started. At that point, we're causing and we're forcing the U.S. to put forceful grounds. When all we have to do is, hey, if we're going to stand in protest for George Floyd, then let's stand in protest for George Floyd. But keep all that vandalism. Not to even mention that you're hurting people that are innocent. Burning buildings, looting them, breaking into these things. We're hurting people that have privately owned businesses. We're hurting people. We're hurting homes. We're hurting jobs. All these things. It affects what's taking place. It affects the real purpose. And instead of them being able to focus on getting the proper justice for George Floyd, they're now focusing on settling us down. And now we're having to deal with early curfews. I ain't had a curfew since I was 17 years old. I'm now 42 and I have a 5 o'clock curfew. I have to be in my house at 5 o'clock if I ain't working. That is some mess. I mean, this is the force that is coming upon us because of the fact that we ourselves, I'm gonna say we ourselves because I'm just talking in general as for all us people, the fact that we're just not acting responsibly with the situation. We're not acting responsibly, and we need to be at a point where, hey, we can take everything off to the side, put our feelings off to the side, put our emotions off to the side. And I know that's the hard part. That's the battle. Believe me, I get it. That is the battle. The emotions, the feelings, all that stuff. That's the hard part. But if we could come and set our feet on solid ground and understand and keep in mind the real purpose that why the protesting is taking place, then we should be able to have victory in that area. And if the stuff still does not change, then we get up and we do it again, but we do it right. Because all this looting and everything, we're hurting other people. We're hurting our neighbors. We're hurting the friends of our loved ones. We're hurting people. It's not just we're not making a statement. We're hurting lives. We're hurting homes. We're hurting people that have built their businesses from ground up. You know, and I just think that we could just do things in a peaceful way. There is a way of sending a word that is more peaceful than anything else that is happening. That is anything else that is taking place. And really, when we look at things, we have to look at the real cause and the real purpose. Right? There's one man that did something that abused his power, and he hurt a man. Now we have to look at this. Because I also seen another thing that I don't agree with. I've seen a video where people were calling black cops traitors. You know, calling people, saying all cops are bad, calling them names, and you know, those guys just have jobs. Those guys just have jobs. You know, they're not, doesn't mean that they're traitors. You don't know what it is that they're actually, maybe they wouldn't want, maybe they want justice for George Floyd, but did we even give them a chance? At the end of it, they still have a job that needs to be performed. You know, am I sitting here? Am I for the cops? Am I for the people? I'm for all. I am for all with it and everybody that is in the right mind and that has peace and that has love and that has unity and that has justice, all on the same boat. That is what I'm for. That is what I'm for. I'm for all that. I'm for the cops, because there's good cops and there's bad cops. Just like there's good people and there's bad people. You know, it goes both rounds. It's in both grounds. It goes all the way around. You know, however it is you want to look at it. There's good people and bad people, and that's what it boils down. There's only one word, and that's people, and that's good and bad. There's good people and bad people. And what is it that we're going to be? Because if you're going to act and justify actions based on what has taken place, then basically you're just putting yourself in the same shoes and you're making yourself just like the bad people. You're making yourself just like the people that have done bad. You're making yourself, if you think it's okay to go and hurt other people because of what happened, then you're making yourself just like that cop. We have to really begin to look at things and really begin to look around. You know, we have to take a look at what's happening and the life and everything that is happening. We have to take a look at this stuff, and we have to understand and come to the point of understanding that our actions state who we are. That's the bottom line. If you're a good person, okay, then be a good person. If you're a person that is for justice, then let's do justice right. If you're a person that's loving, then let's show love. If you're a person of peace, then let's be peaceful. If you're a person that wants unity, then act with unity. This is some things that we have to begin to look at. These are some things that we have to begin to watch. These are some things that we have to really examine ourselves. I get it. Everybody likes to examine other people, but do we examine ourselves? Do we watch ourselves? Do we take control of our own action? That's what we have to really look at today. That's really what it is that we have to stare at, and what we have to look at, and pay attention to in today's times. We are not justified by somebody else's actions. Somebody else's actions does not justify our actions. Our actions have its own consequences. And that's something that we have to be people to be vigilant upon ourselves. Are we acting like the way these other people are acting? Are we acting with hatred? If we're acting with hatred, then we're no better than the people with hatred, because then we're expressing the hatred that is within us. We have to really continue to take a look at ourselves. We have to really continue to examine who we are, the people we are, and what we do. This is a time, guys, that, hey, let's take advantage of something. Let's take advantage of something that is great. We do have a person that's coming in. We have a Summer Says. Am I saying that right? Hi, Summer. You just got to activate your video and your mic. There you go. How you doing there? Hello? 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 And then we're having a little audio difficulties. Summer Sage, try one more time to call in. I'm interested in hearing what you had to say. Just activate.
Hi, me?
Oh, I can hear you now. How you doing?
Okay, sorry. I'm not used to the Zoom meeting without the video. I have them for my kids, but I'm not used to like this type of meeting.
Okay. Well, what is it that you would like to say?
Well, I had posted a post earlier on Facebook that kind of got a lot of criticism. I don't really understand why. We're talking about the whole injustice and everything that's going on, the Black Lives Matter, right?
Yes.
I feel like people are taking it and generalizing it by saying all lives matter, which I agree with. All lives do matter. But this specific incident and what's going on in the world right now is very specific to the black race, black people. So making it about everyone and generalizing the problem will never, I feel like, get it solved.
I agree, because right now the focus is the fact of the injustice that took place with George Floyd. I believe that his death is an awakening for a lot of people as well. So I'm nowhere like, God forbid, I wish it wouldn't have happened, but maybe it had to, and I don't want nobody to misinterpret what I'm saying, but it was an awakening that took place, not just because the black people have, the black community, I don't want to say black people, forgive me, but the black community have been mentioning it for years, and now all of a sudden it becomes visual, and now everybody wants to react. And of course, I'm also for the fact that all lives matter. I do agree with that. The one thing I do have to say though, because of the fact that it does affect everybody, is all this destruction that is taking place with the rioting and everything. I mean, don't you agree that it would, I mean, a more peaceful protest would be better results overall, even for as all the people?
Yes, but people are upset, and I understand that. The feeling
Of
of
course.
helplessness and feeling of, hey, I might be killed or discriminated against based on my skin color when there's absolutely nothing I can do. I mean, you just feel hopeless. I don't know how that feels. I can't sit here and say I know what it feels like to be have somebody act differently towards me because of my skin color or treat me differently. So I can't sit here and say I understand that, but I understand the fact that people in this time feel hopeless. They feel like, what can we do to stop this? So people are going about it the wrong way. Most people. There are some
Y-
people peacefully protesting, but most people I feel like I see on the videos of live streams of people rioting are young people that just want to get out, probably just want to run the streets, maybe not even know to the full extent of what they're rioting about. They're just out there.
Yeah, I think I think in a lot of cases people just found room to come up, and they're taking
Exactly.
advantage of that.
And I'm not gonna lie, probably back in the day when I was younger, I probably would have been like, "Hey, we're looting this store. Let's go. I don't care what the cause is about. I'm gonna get me some free stuff." You
Well,
know?
I don't know if you were around, but if you remember the '92 riots, the
Yes,
LA
yes,
riots, that
Rodney King.
Rodney King, and real quick, people took advantage of the fact of the looting, and
Yes,
they forgot all about Rodney King, and they were destroying black businesses. They were destroying the black owned businesses, and I personally just feel like, as far as with people, that if we're gonna, I'm nowhere near for the destruction. I just think that we need to handle it. I mean, overall, especially me being a Bible man, the Bible says that love conquers the multitude of evil, and if we can be bigger than the problem, I think we would be much more effective.
yes. And I also feel like by generalizing this problem, like, yeah, we all have problems. We're all. I mean, I think Jesus was somebody who was specific. I mean, he called people out specifically. And I feel like the Pharisees used to sit back and judge him and use scripture and how he was wrong. And that's how I feel like what people are doing now with this whole movement. They're looking for reasons why it's wrong. They're looking for,
Yes.
oh, well, all lives matter, not just black. Yeah, of course, all lives matter. But this is a specific issue that is people that are black that have to deal with. Do I know anything about that? No. Do most people know? Unless you're black and you have to deal with that. But I've heard testimony after testimony of friends, family, colleagues that have experienced racism in America, and it's here. And people don't want to talk about it because it means admitting that there's a problem, and there is a problem, and it can never get dealt with. You can't deal with what you can't confront. So if people
Y-
are not willing to confront the issue, we'll never be able to deal with it and we'll never be able to move past it.
Yeah, I really feel that it is something that we need to deal with on that on an overall basis, worldwide, nationwide, our nation specifically. I do believe that it is something that we need to deal with. But Summer, I do have another person coming in. I appreciate you
No
tuning
problem.
in
It was
here.
nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you too. Um, and thank you once again.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. All right, we have Conscious coming in. My boy Conscious right here. I know that he has a lot to. I know that he has been also sending some messages out according to that he kind of sees like an overall plan of some stuff that has been taking place, and you guys have to hear him. Conscious, you in there? Are you on?
What it do, my brother? I don't know if you can hear me, but I can hear you.
I can hear you, my brother. Why don't you activate your video right there? Should be on the bottom left corner of your screen. People had to get a view of my boy here. There we are. You are coming in. There you are, Conscious. How's it going, my man?
Oh man, everything is blessed from this end, my good brother. What about yourself, man?
Man, I'm just standing here and it's time to send a message, man. It's time to show some love, it's time to show some peace, some unity, and most importantly at this time, justice. You know, we need to look for some justice to take place for our nation. And man, so
Right?
I know that you definitely have a statement, man, that you need to share, man, and I know that you shared with it earlier with me, man. I I'm just gonna let you have it real quick. Go for it, man.
Hey man, well, praise God, man. Well, first off, you know what I'm saying, giving all glory to God, man, because we can't do nothing effective that's gonna last without putting God first. Okay.
Amen to that.
We gotta start with that first, man, because if we don't put God first in what we doing, the scripture tell us things we won't last. It's like building your tower on sand and expecting it to be strong on a foundation that's not going to last. So my very first foremost focus is putting God first. Now, a lot of people try to, well, I won't say try. A lot of people, it's hard for people to imagine. Okay, well, how you gonna put God in the midst of this madness? Okay, it's a lot of madness going on. You know what I'm saying? How are you gonna put God in the midst of this madness? So I say it like this, man. We got to look at what God attributes are, man. God is love. What is this show about? God is peace.
Amen.
What is this show about? Okay. And then, of course, there's strength in numbers with unity. You know what I'm saying? So we got to unite. We can't do nothing separated and divided. And that's what this world want to do. The world want to have a perception of where everything is separated and divided. And then, of course, we look for justice. Okay, we want justice. We want things to be righteous. So we can really sum all of that up. If we had to put one word on love, justice, peace, unity, that's gonna be righteousness.
Right.
And the God we serve is a God of righteousness. So that's the very first foremost. Any approach we have to look at, we have to look at coming in a form of righteousness. So once we step outside that righteousness aspect, and we got to understand God's not in it. God is not the author of confusion. So when you're looking at all of this confusion that's going on, these people running around in these streets and they're confused. They don't know how to express themselves. They see that there's an injustice. They see that something's not right. So they're running around in a cloud of confusion. God's not in that. He's not the author
Right.
of confusion.
Right.
The devil is the author of confusion. So that's where you have to be careful. Okay, so when you got a mass of people operating in an author of confusion type situation, where's the root coming from? The root of it
Right.
ain't coming from God, because if the root was coming from God, like we was talking earlier, man, those masses of people would be out in the streets praising God, standing on the foundations and the truth of righteousness, which
Right.
portrays justice according to the word of God, and giving God glory and praise. There's no way you're gonna be in the midst of that environment and start rioting and start looting and start acting in this wild behavior that's not giving glory to God.
Right.
So it's like, where is the approach coming from? The approach, like we were discussing from my perspective, the approach is coming from the enemy, and it's a trap. They've done studies on our minds. They've done study and researches on our behavior. They've done study and researches on different scenarios and reactions of how people are going to react to this and that or whatever. And then now they're putting everything into play, and everybody's falling into the trap.
Right.
And the trap is just for more confinement. Like I say, it's kind of crazy. This behavior is going to lead us to being in a situation of martial law. Martial law in full fledged mean that we're pretty much a society that's in prison.
Yeah.
But you
Mm.
out looting, you getting all of this good stuff. that you ain't gonna be able to do nothing with. Man, you gonna wear your Jordan from your bedroom to your kitchen because you can't leave the house. All of the stuff that you're looking at as a game is really gonna be your downfall because the consequences of the behavior. It's the consequence of the behavior that we got to look at. You could be 100% right in any situation and what's going on, what they did to that Floyd, the guy that killed him,
Yeah.
which we have been immune to because they do it all the time. But this reason now they're promoting it in a way that they want this activity. And that's what folks are not understanding. They're promoting this in a way to create this activity, this behavior, so that they can implement more structure, more order, more discipline than you already under.
Right.
You're creating a more worse situation for yourself in the future by the behavior that you're doing now, and you're not looking at the consequences of the behavior.
Right.
And my cry and my plea is to the people is to look to the foundation of God, look to the scripture. What would God say do? And look, if people try to use stuff out of context, I was talking with my brother, Pastor Purpose, because he was preaching on the word the other day, and people saying, using scripture, oh, God say there's a time for war. There's a time for war when we have preparation. God ain't never sent anyone into a situation that he didn't prepare them to be in for. This situation right now is not a situation of preparation to be saying, oh, well, God says it's a time for war, so we need to stand up. Those are emotions.
Right.
Those emotions of frustration and abuse, and a lot of the stuff that's true that I won't say justifies, but allows people to justify their actions to say this is okay. But the consequences of the behavior in the long run, which you're ignoring, is going to be worse off for you from the start.
Yeah.
And people don't understand the trap of everything that's going on. Because me personally, my brother, this picture is bigger than COVID-19.
Yeah.
This picture is bigger than Floyd being murdered on TV in front of everybody like we've already been immune to seeing before. This picture is bigger than that. We're in a situation right now to where if the powers that be get control because of erratic behavior, we're putting ourselves in a worse situation than we can even imagine.
Right.
I mean, you got these people that they know is an organized group that's involved in the protest.
Yeah.
That their mission is to change it from peaceful to violent.
Right.
But yet their focus ain't attacking. Pick these people out. Find out who they are. Let's stop them from changing the protest. Let's when we start these protests, let's make sure everybody here is on the same agenda. Let's communicate. That's what communication come in. You're having a communication. You want to communicate with everybody involved in the protest and make sure everybody is here for the same purpose. Are we all here for peace? Are we all here for what we're doing? What are we doing in this so you can understand where everybody focus is coming from? Because some people focus is out there and it's exposed that they want to make the situation worse than what it is.
Right.
The powers that be know this by study and by research and by the conditions that we're in. You have a mass number of people living in poverty that's feeling deprived, that's feeling unjust. And now you get them all together in a mass form, but yet there's a group of people that's trying to make things worse. So these people bust out a window to a department store. Now all these deprived feeling people, emotional, angry, upset, now see that this store window is open and I can run in there and go get me some stuff. It's going to give them a temporary feeling of satisfaction.
Yes.
A temporary feeling of satisfaction. That feeling is temporary. Emotions is temporary. God, we do not serve an emotional God. So God is not operating in your emotion. So those things and those activities and those behaviors they study, this is going to take them outside the realm of their spiritual and rational conscious thinking, even though they're coming out here in the spirit of justice, the spirit of peace. But if we can get somebody to just get that thought out their mind real quick, and now you thought is on coming up. Now I got a thought on coming up, or the Gucci store window was open, and they killed this dude, and I can leave up out of here with a brand new Gucci bag. Yep. A lot of folks is gonna jump on that opportunity depending on where they heart at. But if the mass number of people was out there quoting scriptures for the sake of righteousness, proclaiming righteousness in the name of Jesus, out there giving glory to God in the name of the Lord and of righteousness and justice, singing praises to the Lord, everybody's creating an atmosphere of righteousness, those folks would get exposed like that. Soon as they start to come up with a plotting plan to try to want to encourage people to bust us, they're like, man, you crazy? What would Jesus do? Right now, we're praising God. We're talking about the glory of the Lord in the spirit of righteousness. And you want to do something outside of what we're doing, then that would expose them. But that's not what they're doing. Everybody's out there emotional. Everybody's out there angry. They're pumping that up. And they're causing people to make choices and decisions in a situation that's going to be drastic for our future.
You know, you're saying, you're
just let people know, whatever you do, you could be 100% right, but your behavior gonna make you 100% wrong.
Exactly. That is the main point right there. It's that emotion and that feeling is gonna get in the way, and it's going to affect what needs to happen compared to what everybody wants. Okay, because like you said, you know, we're going out there with all the emotions, we're going out there with all the feelings, and the truth of the matter, it's the emotions and the feelings that get in the way, and that's what gets us in trouble. That's what gets in the way, and that's what gets us in trouble. And it's crazy, you know, because a lot of people, when you're in your emotions and your feelings, you don't see that. You're blank. It's like all you see is, you just see black. That's it. That's like when someone pushes you to the limit and all you see is black, and you just react that you yourself don't even realize what you do. But there is a what do you call it? There is what's that word? I just went blank, man. There's a consequence to your action. There is a consequence to your action, and you know you're bringing up the Bible, and you're bringing up the emotion part. And I actually have something. If we were to read 1 Samuel, inside 1 Samuel, this is where King Saul, he was king, right? And one of the battles that he was in, Samuel was taking long before he was because they were supposed to make atonements and make a sacrifice and an offer to God, right? Before they go to war. But Saul got impatient. He got all up in his feelings. The people were all scattered because they were all confused, because they were supposed to go to battle, and the Philistine army was all getting ready. Like, they were lining up, and they were lost and confused. And what Saul did is Saul stepped out of line, got in everybody's feelings, got into all the emotions, jumped in with all the confusion. And what did he end up doing is he ended up taking matters into his own hands, and he ended up doing the sacrifice, and he wasn't the one that was prepared for the sacrifice. He wasn't the one that was supposed to do. Samuel was the one that was supposed to prepare the sacrifice, and that's that word, prepare. We are to be... Preparation, preparation before the war, preparation for the battle. But because of that, Saul, he lost his reign at that point. At that point, Samuel, at that battle, Samuel never seen Saul again, and at that point, he's already anointed David to be the next king. So Saul's rule, his son wasn't even able to go into the next reign. And this is what's going to happen, is that if we don't get out of our certain emotions and our feelings and keep our eyes on the main picture and stay focused, we're going to lose this battle.
And again, without preparation, you never, people try, like, again, I say, God said it's time for war. Whenever it's time for war, God has his people prepared. He never sent his people in for a slaughter. You know what I'm saying? He have moved his covering and allowed his people to go into captivity. You know what I'm saying? That has happened, throughout history. You know what I'm saying? He's allowed his people to go into captivity. But at the same time, he never sent his people into battle without preparing. And right now, it's confusion. God is not the author of confusion. I can't look at what's going on in my mind and say, this is a preparation of God, and we should run forward and just do what this madness that we see going on. This madness
Right.
we see going on is leading us closer to the trap
It's leading
instead
us
of
to the
trying to
trap.
focus on a solution. Now, here, right, this part right here to me is what really puzzles me. Okay. Because this is a cliche that you've heard over and over again,
Uh-huh.
but yet no one has applied this cliche to this situation. And this cliche is facts. The definition of insanity is repeating the same behavior over again and expecting a different result.
Expecting a
That's the
different result.
definition of insanity. And when it comes to the way the society or the system have us conditioned to approach injustice, is insanity. We march, there's no change. We riot, there's no change. We
Wow.
burn the city down, there's
No
no
change.
change.
No change.
We video it. We do all these things and we seeing no change. So that means, why keep doing the same thing and expecting something different to happen?
Come on.
At this point in time, we got to look and say, you know what? We got to start doing something different. What is there different that we can do? Now,
Right.
looking at, again, the results of what works and what's effective, I go back to what I said originally. Martin Luther King had a peaceful approach
Right.
to battling injustice. Although they killed him, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't, you know what I'm saying? That cannot be denied that he was murdered because of his behavior. But at the same time, what he adapted to his protest is what they took away from what they're protesting today. And that's what I said earlier. God in it. They marched down the street, singing praises to the Lord. They marched down the street, quoting scriptures from the Bible and the word of God and what's right and what's wrong. They made this stuff relevant to the public's eye in the midst of their protest, which gave glory to God and of righteousness and true righteousness,
Yes.
that it couldn't be
Yes.
ignored, to the point to
Yes.
where they killed him. They killed him because of his approach, and it was effective. He got killed behind that. But yet now today's protest, how they're protesting today, they've taken that away.
Yep.
They're not out there bringing God into the midst, in the forefront, and the focus of his righteousness to the protest, which is allowing the opportunity and open up the door for these undercover, whoever they are, to do their thing, because they're operating in the spirit of wickedness.
Right.
They're operating in the spirit of their emotions. So that door is open. So that has to be a change for one, the approach. Another change is we have never, to my knowledge, and I'm not just talking to the Black people. This ain't just to the Black people. This is not just to the Black people. This is to all people that feel that righteousness is not being observed in this country. If you in your heart feel like righteousness is not being observed in this country, then at some point in time, we need to stand economically and unity in some form of fashion to pull these resources away from the society that we feel is not justice. We can't keep participating and walking. It's like, okay, keep on marching, keep doing what you're doing. This ain't working. As long as you keep on allowing society to move forward. Look what COVID-19 did to society. It made changes.
Yep. Yep.
Because it hit them economically.
Yep.
In the finances, to where things can't function no more on the norm. They're talking about this new norm. This new norm ain't including God. This new norm that they're trying to develop and include righteousness. Injustice, they letting you know now, we kicking justice out if we don't stand for it in the right way. So we hadn't, but it's new norm. So we need to be on the right track and trying to stand in a way that's going to make a change and make them say, wait a minute, if the people that's standing for righteousness is not aboard with what we're doing, then we need to start doing things differently.
Right.
Or it'll be a full-on attack against us in our stand for righteousness, which Revelation say is going to happen. So it's like we got to either move forward in a force for that, or just roll along with the system. But all of what we're doing now with this foolishness and this confusion, it ain't going to make no progress. God ain't getting no glory out of it, and it's just making the situation worse. So that's just my opinion on it, my brother. And I hope I didn't take up too much of your time. But
Oh no, I don't got no. There ain't nobody else waiting right now. But you know, I do want to just continue to open it up. This is a Zoom meeting. If you want to make a statement, or you know, or share what's on your heart. You know, the Zoom meeting number, the ID is 841-1005-4253.
4253.
You know, go ahead, zoom on in. I'll accept you. I'll accept you in, and you know, the main thing that I'm just asking is that we keep it peaceful. You know, the language that no cursing, nothing like that, and we just that we just spread a positive message. You know, we got to spread a positive message out there. This is a message of love, peace, unity, and justice. You know, we want to send a strong statement out there without causing any damage, without hurting people, without hurting our families, our loved ones, our neighbors. You know, we got to be people that are above reproach over here. We have to be above the problem. We have to be bigger than it. You know, that's really the way that we're going to win. The Bible talks about that love conquers a multitude of evil. I know that a lot of people out there don't agree with that. But if you are a believer in Christ, and if you are a believer in the Word of God, this is how we need to handle it. This is how we need to be, and we need to example it. We got to example it. You know, we have to look at stuff. I'm glad that you mentioned Martin Luther King. You know, he was a man of love. He didn't have he didn't show no statements of hate. You know, his message was all around love. You know, that all men be created equal. You know, and you know, and I'm just hoping that even with me standing here, Conscious, you know me pretty well. You know, I'm a Hispanic guy. You know, but I love people. I love all people. You know. My wife, she's mixed. She's half white. She's half black. My kids they're mixed. They're half black and Mexican. You know, yeah, different mom. But you know, the point is the fact that you're not looking at somebody that is just sitting here and being like, oh, just all about Mexicans or just about the color. I am for all people. You know, I am for all people, and we have to be able to understand that the only way that our nation, that the U.S. This is the only way that we're going to make it is by coming together during this time.
That's right.
Dad, yeah, I see you watching. Zoom in. My dad just jumped on. Zoom in. I would love to hear what you have to say. The Zoom meeting ID is 841-1005-4253. This is a live.
Join in.
This is a live Zoom meeting. We're broadcasting live, you know, and this is just a platform for that we can all just make a statement of peace, some love, some unity. You know, like me and my boy Conscious, and we started off just Facebook friends.
Right.
Yeah, and now me and my boy right here, you know, this is a true, you guys, this is right here between me and Conscious. This is a place of love. This is a place of peace, and we came together. We came together because we did a concert all about Jesus, you know. And you know, it was my boy right here. He came together with me and he helped me through it. And he didn't even know me. The first time he saw me in person was the day of the concert.
But you know what? I didn't know that for sure. And I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I didn't know for sure if that was the first time we had ever met in person, because once you said you was from VO, you know what I'm saying? Victory Outreach.
Oh,
my brother,
true.
I do so much stuff when I was in LA, man, and through Prodigal Son. you know what I'm saying, and the opportunities and doors that God opened up for me for ministry, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
and like I say, but mostly through Prodigal Son from the Victory Outreach when he was with Hacienda Heights. Man, we did so many VO events, and
Yeah.
then VO started, and the other VO gang ministries and the other churches stuff started hitting me up, calling me out to so many different places doing events when I was in LA. So
Yeah.
when me and you started communicating after I moved out here to Denver, I honestly, I thought we had known each other. I thought maybe I had been out to your church already, you know what I'm saying? And I performed and or we had linked at one of the other VO events or something. So I was figuring that we already had foundation of fellowship. But now you telling me this now, man. Like, wow, look at the glory of God, dude. Man, that's
It,
crazy.
it is. It's just that's just how it worked, man. When you come together, when you got two brothers in the Lord, when, you know, God knows who to put in your path, man. God knows who to
To
put
get
in
the
your
work
path.
done, look, to get his work done.
That's
You
right.
know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Look, when God puts somebody in your path, and it's a competition that goes in the kingdom, that's confirmation that that person's supposed to be in your life.
That's
A wise brother once told me that these are the two things you should look for when you spending time fellowshipping, or period, because time is valuable. You can't
right.
get it back.
You
Once it's
can't get it
gone,
back.
time is gone. You cannot get it back. So if you want to spend your time valuably, if you
Yeah.
value your time with people, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? If you
Right.
value the time that you spend with people, these are the two things you should look for. If these things aren't happening when you're in the presence of someone else, and these things, when me and you talk, from computer to in person, over the phone, these two things are constantly happening. They don't stop. And
Yeah.
if they ever were to be in a situation where these two things ain't happening, you need to quickly end those conversations, because
Yeah.
that time is not valuable. And it's either you're saying something to me that's helping me grow
Right. Right.
and be
Right.
better during the time that
Right.
we spend together, or I'm
Right.
saying something to you that's
Right.
helping you grow
Right.
and be better during the
Right.
time that we spend together.
Yeah.
If that exercise is not happening, then that time that we spending together is being wasted, my
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the crazy thing, because every time we talk, we're always encouraging each other.
Man,
We're
that's
always
it.
encouraging.
That's
Always
it.
encouraging.
That's
You
it, man.
know.
Because all I want to see, all I want to see for you is good. So when I look, I don't care what
Hey.
I see you, I
Yeah.
don't care what I see you doing. If I'm gonna tell you something about what you're doing, it's gonna be to help you grow.
That's right.
I'm
That's
not trying
right.
to tear you down. Like, I ain't never gonna try to tear you down. I ain't gonna never try to say nothing to you that's gonna try to disencourage you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying, dude? If I'm
Right.
talking to you, it's gonna be encouragement and lifting you up, because I see
Yeah.
what you're doing is for the Lord, dude. Why would I interfere with that?
Yeah, yeah. No, that is one thing, man. I can definitely vouch for every time we spoke, man. We just spoke life into each other. There was encouragement. It was always like, "Hey, my brother, you know, stay up, be strong, move forward," you know. And those are the lines of all our communications every time we talk,
That's
you know.
right.
And you know, it's cool because you said something that's pretty vital, man, and I think that it's a good point here in this during this time of you said time. Time is
Right.
something you can't get it back. But
Mm-mm.
check out the value of time. You
Mm-hmm.
can't sell it.
Mm-mm.
You can't you can't buy it.
Mm-mm.
You can't you the only thing that can happen with time is lose it.
That's right.
That's the only thing that can happen. The only thing that could take place with time is lose it. And what are we doing with that time? Nowadays, you know, are we protesting to the point of making a good impact? Because once this time is gone, it's gone, and we can't get none of it back. And whatever causes the cause and effect theory, whatever the consequences, whatever takes place during this time afterwards, man, it's going to be it is what it is because of what we done with the time. But hey, let me get up. If you want to stick around, my dad is actually here. My
Man,
dad's
come
a,
on. I already told you I took up too much of your time, my brother.
yeah, you know, you're
Hey,
good.
look again. That's why me and you spend so much time talking, because of that exercise I told you, dude. And
Yeah,
man, you can talk forever, because
yeah,
I love being uplifted. I love being encouraged. You know what I'm saying? I love listening to someone that's gonna tell me the truth and tell me the real, that's gonna be beneficial for my life. So me and you
that's
can
right.
conversate forever. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we
Yeah,
do it like that. So I can imagine to have to hear what your pops have to say. You know what I'm saying?
all
And you
right.
look, the wisdom that you got, then like every behavior is a learned behavior. So I know, dude. I want to see I want to see where you're learning from.
Yeah, you're about to see some credit. Dad, if you are watching our thing, you have to activate your camera and your microphone in order to jump on. You're probably not hearing me, but if you're hearing me through the broadcast, yeah, you got to activate your camera and your microphone.
That's what I had to do, because like I'm new to Zoom.
Yeah.
When you said that, I looked down, I said, "Oh, okay, camera."
There he is. I got your microphone. Just activate your camera.
You got me?
Yeah, I got your voice. Start your camera. It should be the bottom left corner of the screen.
He's on.
Listen.
All right, tap your screen, and it should light up at the bottom left corner. You muted your mic again. There, now unmute your mic. It's right next to it. There you go.
There you
go.
one, turn on another one. And there
Yeah.
he is. Hey, there's Papa Richard right there.
Yeah.
Like, you a junior too? You a junior?
I'm a junior.
How you doing, brother? Yeah, doing
Me
good.
too. Me too. I'm a junior.
All right, hey, Dad. So I know that are you still on the road?
Yes.
You're still on the road. Hey, so what we're doing right here is we're, with everything that's going on, with all the rioting and everything like that, we're just kind of just saying our piece, like trying to just make a statement to encourage some love, to encourage some peace, some unity, some justice during this time. I know it's crazy, and they're over here implementing some crazy curfews. I ain't had a curfew since I was 17 years old, man.
Stop it.
Now I gotta be in the house at 5 o'clock.
Nah, man. But look, all things work together for God.
Yeah. So let me get my dad. I know my dad always has some good stuff to say, man. So
I'm excited.
go for it, Dad.
You know what? Just by looking at everything, all the messes that is taking place, and for me, I'm all into it. For if you want to protest, but there's a way of doing it. And we could conduct ourselves like human beings. Because when we start destroying other people's properties, we have to keep in mind how many other people are we hurting.
That's right.
We're hurting other people, that elderly moms, grandmas and grandparents, that they're panicking and they're getting nervous. Can we hurt them physically? Can we literally?
Oh man, by having some internet issues.
Like it's like you got connectivity problems, man.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you just ran into a little bit of connectivity problems right there.
Okay, how about now?
Yeah, you're good. Go for it.
Like I was saying, sometimes, like I said, for protest, I'm all for it. If it's being done in a manner that you're gonna get your point across without damaging or hurting other people, then innocent bystanders.
Right.
They're innocent bystanders. So by doing what we're doing is we're hurting, and we might be even killing families by destroying their little businesses that they have.
That's right.
We're hurting them, and we could be killing them. So I would say this, and if we're hurting them and we're killing them, we're just as guilty as that police officer that killed this young man.
Come on now, because God don't look at sin on no curve scale. All sin is sin. You right. You right, Papa Richard. You right, Papa Richard.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just as guilty then, man, if we were to hurt other people's families.
Right.
We're destroying people's homes and businesses that they're trying to survive. And by us trying to kill them, what are we doing?
Yeah.
We're doing the
Yeah.
same thing that everybody else. That we're protesting. You know, this man's life was taken because of one bad apple. So that means
Right.
now there's multitudes of people all over the state striking, hurting people, burning down properties that really have nothing. They're innocent bystanders.
They're
Right.
innocent. They're innocent.
You know,
And it's not gonna change the situation.
and it's not. But if anything, is you're hurting your own neighborhood.
Yeah.
You're hurting
That.
your own city.
Yeah. That's
You
what I'm
know,
saying. We're hurting our own neighbors. We're hurting our own friends. We're hurting the people that we should be backing up, standing by.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I don't know how it is in some of these other states, but out here in Los Angeles, you have a lot of mom and pop shops.
Yep.
You have a lot of privately owned businesses, family businesses, and they've worked from the ground up. And sometimes we get in, we're letting all the emotions and we're letting the actions justify ourselves, and all we're doing is we're hurting them. Everything that we've
Right.
done.
you know,
Yeah.
not only that, but watch this. We even have little stores, mom and pop stores in our neighborhoods that are being hurt and destroyed. That they know your family that we get credit from.
Come on now. Come
Oh,
on, but tell the
come on.
truth. Tell the
Man.
truth. Look, all that go out the window. That's right.
That you go up to them because they know your family, and they don't care. They don't care if you're black or white or brown. You're just one of their clients. They're one of their customers. That you live in the same street that they do. They see you. They know your kids, and they go up to you. You get credit from them, and you pay them back. Now you're destroying their cities. You're destroying their little store.
Yeah.
Well, what's the cost? You know, innocent
Right.
people. I believe that this man whose life was taken, I believe that we could honor it by respecting him, by protesting on his behalf. But let's be human beings about it. You know,
Yeah.
we don't need to hurt nobody, because I believe that by us hurting other people, it brings division. But when we do
Come on.
protest right, everybody gets involved.
That's right. We gotta
Everybody.
protest in unity. We gotta protest in unity and righteousness, because right now the way they're protesting now, Papa Richard just said it. It's going to lead to division. It's going to end up leading to division. Even though you see a lot of people standing together in all different nationalities, but if they keep heading into the direction that they're going, and it's not in full righteousness, it's going to lead to destruction.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And all we're doing is and all we're doing is just hurting each other. We're
Yeah.
hurting each other. Not whatever you want to call it, man. Brown, black, white, Chinese, man. I got a lot of friends that you could say from every culture of life. Some of my closest families and friends are African American. Some of my best clients and customers are African American.
Right.
My best clients, I take care of downtown LA. I take care of a lot of families. They know me. They call me.
Yeah.
I take care of their homes, their properties. Whites, beautiful white people, beautiful African American brothers, Chinese people.
Everybody is beautiful. Everybody's beautiful.
Everybody,
Pops.
brother.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
You know what? It's amazing. It's amazing. Because when you're in the midst of a battlefield, when you're in the midst of a battlefield, it doesn't matter if you may be in need in blood.
Right.
Oh, come on.
But notice that the blood doesn't come with color or race.
That's right. As soon as it
The
come out
blood
your
that
body,
you
it's the
may
same
need-
color.
Brother, the blood that you may need it from your worstest enemy, and that enemy of yours has the blood that you need to keep you alive.
That's
Come
that
on
type
now.
B, type A,
Hey,
type
look,
O.
right.
Yeah.
That ain't got type A, type B blood. Ain't got no nationality on it. Come
Ain't
on
got
now,
no
let's speak the
nationality.
truth.
It doesn't have no
Let's speak
color.
the truth.
It's all red.
It's only one. Like they say, even like the blood of Jesus, only one blood, and that is the blood of the Lamb that covers the multitudes of all sins.
Come
He did
on.
not come to condemn man. He did
Come
not
on.
come to judge man, but he came
Woo.
to reconcile man back unto himself
Yes, sir.
under
baby.
one blood.
Woo! Come on now. That's what I'm talking
That's
about.
what I'm talking about right there, Papa
One
Richard.
blood. You know,
Now you see where the craziness comes from, man.
No, that ain't the craziness. That's that
That's
wisdom.
that's
That's,
that.
that's
Yeah.
that wisdom. That's that wisdom and that boldness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That have the wisdom and that boldness to stand for it, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
because you know what is the question is, why for me, brother, is why am I going to destroy somebody else's business if they're innocent bystanders?
Yeah.
Right,
Innocent.
They see a multitude of people, you fear,
Yeah.
you put fear to them. So what
right.
do? You break into the stores, you break
Come
into
on.
watch this. They broke into a lot of these mega big stores that they're hiring. They got employees working in there. Now you wouldn't have burned it down. Then those employees now out of a job.
Now
And
they're
a
out of
job.
a job.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
They're out of a job.
But Papa Richard, like I was telling your son, I was telling him this, man. The sad part about it is what the people don't realize is the big picture. This is all a setup. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you got these they got people running out in these streets on their emotions, and they're exploiting these people emotions, cause more chaos than their own intentions were. Their intentions of their emotions were to come out there and try to get some justice. And then
Right.
now I'm already hurt. I'm frustrated. Plus I'm broke. And now this person who probably has a good life and their cause is not even for the cause, busts a window out on the store. And now I got the opportunity to go in there and come up. I'm gonna use that as a reason to do it. But they're not looking there. They're so blind, they're not seeing the picture. This is so much of a setup. It's so much of a setup to where that they can have us in even more bondage. It's like they're setting you up to position yourself in more bondage, and you're falling for it.
Yes, that's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
I was actually reading something a little bit earlier before we are starting this whole thing, and where was it? I think it was Minneapolis or Minnesota, one of the states with the M. And what it was is that 80% of the people that got arrested were white, and not just were they white, but they were a part of a white group. They were actually were they said where they had found like on the like somebody dropped the paper and the paper literally gave instructions on what to do. Not exactly sure how strong that source is, but it kind of lines up with what you're saying, you know?
Right. I mean, I've seen stuff in videos, and again, this was on TikTok, and this was somebody standing on a balcony window, filming out their window, and it was a police car in an alley behind the street where they were protesting on, and they was putting bricks. They was taking bricks and stuff out of this police vehicle and just putting them in this alley. So now, when the stuff jump off and everybody start going crazy and looking for stuff, there it is.
It's all right there.
It's already right there waiting for you. So here's the stuff you need to do to go ahead and escalate this. Because again, I'm gonna say it 1,000 times until I can see something to prove me different. They're trying to make sure that full-fledged martial law is implemented while Trump is in office. Because if he can get that power under martial law, dude, we in for a whole new situation that
Well,
we've never
that
experienced
martial
in
law
life.
is you know, whether it's martial law or anything, at the end of it, it boils down to not even a crazy thing. It boils down to one thing, and that's biblical prophecy.
That's right. Now that's undeniable.
That's really the bottom line of it, because the Bible talks about one government. The Bible talks about everything is going to be boiled down to the power of one man, and you know, and really it's going to be like a police state, you know, but it's going to be more of a police world.
That's
Well,
right.
you know what? Based it upon what you're saying right there, remember that the Bible speaks that judgment begins first in the house
church.
of God.
In the church.
You know, but let me put it this way: judgment first begins in your home.
Yes.
In your home.
That's right.
Judgment begins there, so that the homes our churches, because I say the home, because the home is where the parents give the instruction to the kids.
That's right.
Right.
In the home
That's
is where
right.
you disciple the children to have manners, how to conduct themselves. In the
Right.
home, you speak to your children, your grandchildren. You teach them how to respect people. You share with them to honor, if that's what we're supposed to be sharing.
Right.
Whatever is being dropped into our kids, into our lives, in our homes, judgments begins there.
Right.
So what happens? What is being put into the homes is what's being exposed on the open now.
And that's
Right.
that's exactly true. That's
It's being
exactly true.
it's being exposed now. It's being exposed now.
Right.
Now I would say this: we're gonna see the chain reaction begin to start acting, because this is taking place worldwide. Because there's other
Yes.
countries right now that they control the people, and they're locking them down in their own houses with no food.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
for the government to take their lives, they don't have a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Look how we take advantage of the grace and the mercies of God, living here in the state that so many are shooting it down.
Come
But yet
on.
you got the freedom to go speak, and yet you want to try to do that in North Korea. See what happens.
Woo! Like the street would be lined up with bodies. Like the street would be lined up with bodies.
It'd be bigger than that's where the picture is bigger than what people are really looking at. There's a big picture at hand over here, and nobody is looking at that big picture, and they're looking at their own emotion, they're looking at their own flaws, they're getting caught up with the destruction and with all the craziness that's going on, and with that, it's gonna cause, like we keep mentioning, it's gonna be that consequence that everybody's not gonna like, and it's and so much you could say the party's just begun. If we continue in this route of destruction, the party just begun. It's
Right.
not gonna stop right here at the curfews.
Because you know what? Listen to this, son. Right now, in other countries or in other continents, there's a lot of people praying, and I won't be specific just with one, with Christians, but there's men and women all over the world praying that they will have the liberty that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And we're over here have the liberty that people want and praying, and yet we have it, and we don't even know how to use it.
We abuse it. Like we
Yeah.
abuse it. Like
Yeah.
we abuse everything. Like other countries look at us and our food consumption. Like,
Right.
man, y'all glutton, y'all greedy, y'all waste food. To some of the food that y'all have, man, the food that's wasted in this country could feed 2 or 3, 4 other countries. But
Right.
yet their systems are designed up to preserve that food and to make it stretch. And yet we don't even care. You know what I'm saying? We live in a lifestyle of gluttony. You know what I'm saying? And that cannot be good in God's eyes.
You know
No,
what? Like they
it's
say,
not.
like they say, I believe that there's a passage of scripture that says that those that are wicked will become more wicked, and those that are righteous will continue to be more righteous.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
And I believe that this is the time when you're gonna see, and you could see it. You could see the madness, and really, the Bible says that our warfare is not against flesh and blood, but against principalities of the air.
There we go.
Yes.
There's
Yeah.
demonic spirits, man, that is running behind the scenes from inside the state, from the Senate, all over this. A strong satanic spirit, and yet we're fighting against human beings instead of fighting the spiritual warfare.
That's right.
You know,
Come on.
We don't
I like
the wrong target.
I like what one Dr. Dell said this. We're fighting a spiritual warfare in a physical body.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because our battles it's not against you, my brother, if you're African American. My battle's not with you. There's
Right.
a spirit behind the scenes that would love to get us to come at each other.
That's
Right.
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 You
I
know,
learned at a young age, man, that race didn't matter. When I looked at I think I was about maybe 25 years old, and I looked at my life and all of the drama that I've experienced was mostly by my own people. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, me just making a logical decision, I said to myself, man, all the drama that I've experienced in my life, if I really gotta have hate towards somebody, I gotta hate myself. So that means hate is not an option. I
Right.
can't look at what I'm experiencing in this physical and make a determination in my heart for hate. Because if I do, then I'm gonna have to hate myself. Logically speaking.
you know what I say this. You know, when I go on Facebook Live every Thursday, I got a quote that I conclude my services with. You know, and this is not just for Christians. This is for whosoever. The Bible says that whatever, you know, we have a saying in the world before we came to know Christ: what comes around, what goes around comes around.
That's right.
In the biblical term, what a man soweth,
you reap.
You're gonna reap.
That's right.
That's non-negotiable.
That's right.
That's right.
Non-negotiable.
Hey, now, Papa Richard, I'd like to put this in a more broader aspect for people, because from a worldly perspective, people take that out of concept. Okay?
Yes.
That karma, they call it karma. You know what I'm saying? Oh, if I step on your foot, then that means somebody else gonna step on my foot. And then somebody mentality might be able to say to themselves, like, well, damn, I got a high tolerance of pain, so I don't mind stepping on somebody else's foot, because if somebody step on my foot, it ain't gonna hurt that bad. You know what I'm saying? And they'll get comfortable. They'll get comfortable with the fact that, okay, I can do this and do that or whatever. But when you reap what you sow, if you really understand the meaning of what it means to reap what you sow. I just try to explain it to my clients when I was a counselor. I used to try to explain it like this. Look at it on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay. If I do something bad to you, now I'm gonna use the same example. I step on your foot, but you got a corn on your toe. Plus, you have a low tolerance for pain. You see what I'm saying? You got a corn on your toe, and you got a low tolerance for pain. So when I step on your foot, that's gonna hurt like heck. But if somebody turned around and stepped on my foot, and I don't have a corn, and I got a high tolerance of pain, I'm not gonna experience the same thing.
It's different.
But when you so it's a scale of 1 to 10. So now I do something in your life that causes some pain or some drama or some discomfort or whatever it is. And on a scale of 1 to 10, for you, that was a 9 in your life. The most you've ever experienced, it was a 9 in your life. Now something's gonna happen to me that's gonna be a 9 in my life. Now it might not be somebody stepping on my foot. It might be me getting hit by a car, because I got a high tolerance for pain.
Right.
Or it might be me losing a loved one.
Because you know what? And the conclusion with the scripture, which says that whatever a man soweth, that he shall also reap. And then it goes on to say, in due season.
In due
season.
There you go. There you go.
That's that time.
That's the definition of what I was just saying. That's the definition of what I was just saying. In due season.
In due season.
Your season and my season aren't the same seasons.
It may not be that individual that you heard it, but I know this for a fact, and I said, you may never know that somebody 3 times as wiser than you is going to be the one that's going to do it to you.
Come on.
That's what I'm talking about. That right there. You guys, it's like anybody who's watching, anybody who's listening, this is a place where we're continuing to talk. Right now we're trying to increase the love, the peace, the unity, and justice. Right now, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about just these areas in life, because yes, we want justice for George Floyd. We nonetheless no matter any angle of the videos that was watched, you know that it was murder that took place. It wasn't right. So yeah, we want justice. But here we are in a place of protesting, which we're not coming against the protest. We love the protest. We're all for it, but one of the things that we're standing against is the looting, the destruction, the destroying, and all these things. So this is a time. This is right here. We're actually doing a Zoom meeting, and if you guys want to come in, you guys want to make a statement of peace, of love, of unity, of justice. The ID number is 841-1005-4253. We would love to hear what you guys have to say. So, don't hesitate to come on in. Just, we're keeping it respectful and no curse words. Let's keep it respectful.
Yeah.
And this is just a place where we're just spreading some love. So, we're over here and we're just talking about what's happening. We had conscious, and my dad jumped on, and basically we're at a point where we're talking about that what we're saying what we're doing, because the people, all the destruction, the looting, we're taking the focus off of the real problem here. The real problem was the injustice that took place for George Floyd, and getting involved with the destruction, destroying, looting. We're hurting our neighbors, we're hurting families, we're hurting people that built businesses from the ground up. We're destroying our towns, our cities, our homes. And that's not the way to go. This is definitely not the way to go. If we're gonna do something, we need to do it in love. Especially as the body of Christ. If you are part of the body of Christ, the Bible speaks, love conquers the multitude of evil. We need to do things peacefully. We need to do things together. We need to be able to unite people in one accord, and that's where true justice is going to take place. True justice is going to take place when we do it like that. So, we want you guys, if you guys want to come in and you guys want to say something, again, I'm just going to say it out again. The meeting ID is 841-1005-4253. That's on Zoom. All right, so if you guys have the Zoom app, or if you're in front of your computer, go ahead and tune on in. We'd love to have you in just to see, just so you could share your point or share your views. So make a statement, make a statement of peace and love,
Right.
But yeah, so man.
You know what? So, because my phone is going to be dying out, but you know what? All we got to do is just continue to pray, for the people. And if you could, if your voice could, if your voice has value, and that it's able to help people back off from hurting other people, express your voice.
Express it.
I believe that we need to express our voices, man. But you don't need, because there's destroying properties, but also too, innocent people are being hurt physically.
Yeah.
And I like what my brother said, that there's a lot of people out there that they see in this, and they're using this, the death of this man,
right,
to piggyback on what they want to do.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Hey, look, and I'm guilty.
And there's a lot of them out there. They're out there piggybacking. They're busting things so they could come up. And get, and that's all. That's their whole agenda.
That's the whole agenda. And look, and Papa Richard, look, I'm guilty, because there was a riot in '92, and that was before. That was before I gave my life to the Lord, and my mind to the concept of living a lifestyle that's going to be pleasing to my Creator. So back then, I was just out there. You know what I'm saying? And I know their feeling. That's the crazy part about it. I understand how they feel, because I was in a position where I know I was being abused by the police. I know there was a lot of injustice going on. And as soon as the opportunity came to feel some sense of justice, because I came up on some stuff, it was a temporary feeling of relief. Yes. But that relief feeling is temporary, just like all emotions. That's what I was talking to the son Richard about. I was saying, man, these emotions are temporary. They're going to pass. But the consequences of the behavior that you make while you're feeling that way, that's
Right.
going to be what you got to be responsible for. And it's going to be long after all this is gone. We've had so many lives taken from injustice.
Yeah.
And we've
Yes.
moved on and have moved on with our lives.
Yes.
And it's moved on with our lives. So we got to understand that even though this is a moment of injustice, there is going to be a moment of moving on. Now, what you're going to do in between that time, carry on forever.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
If you don't do it with wisdom and do something wise, because again, like Papa Richard was saying, we're going to reap what we sow. So if during this time that we get this temporary feeling of justice because of this wickedness I did wickedness, but it gave me a temporary feeling of injustice, we're going to still reap what we sow from the wickedness.
Right.
Yes. You know, and if, because many are saying that other people from other states are coming over so they can tear up your neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to go back to their beautiful homes.
That's right.
And you get left behind in your city that you burned down.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the same thing with these celebrities. You got, I'm just going to use the only two videos that I've seen, Nick Cannon and I seen LL Cool J, and both of them are angry. Both of them are upset. Both of them are adding fuel to the fire for these people to justify their behavior. But at the end of the day, they going home to their mansion. They going home to their lush life. They going home to live like they live. And you're going to have to deal with the repercussions of your behavior. They not out in the street looting. You don't see LL or Nick Cannon out in them streets running in those stores and looting and doing none of that kind of crap.
Yeah, why would they? Why would they? They got their big old home in mansion. Oh, matter of fact, let's go over there to their. No, wait, no, I shouldn't say that.
Stop it, Reggie, stop it. Like, matter of fact, we gonna go let's loot them.
No,
you know
but.
What? But you know what? All we got to do is, it's sad because I see the news and I just see it, man. I go, all the innocent lives, and I know that we're helping my mother-in-law. She's in her 80s, man. And she can't even walk. And she's looking at this, and they're putting a lot of fear into people's lives. How many families in all these neighborhoods, man, in South Central and LA, families that, we have grandmas, man, that they can't even walk, and they're seeing all this, they're fearing for their lives for something that we're involved in, that we're doing.
Exactly. Now, here's another good point. The student made. Why am I going to go out there, jeopardize my freedom, jeopardize my life, and I'm saying I'm willing to lay my life down on the line for some people that would rob me for my shoes,
right?
Kill me over some senseless stuff that we see that goes on in our own community, and we're not addressing these situations. But yet now you want me to run out and put my life on the line, freedom on the line, and all this stuff in a cause for what? When this is all over, we're gonna go back to how we was living. And now the same dude that I'm saying I was willing to die for, he's the same dude that's gonna rob me from my chain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all we can do is just pray, but let's not just a prayer be words, but let it be something that let your voice be heard, man, and to stop the violence. It's like, come on, if you're gonna do your march, do your march.
That's right.
Why are you hurting? Why we don't need to hurt no other people. That ain't no justice for that behalf for that brother, man, that got killed.
And they gotta wake up and see that.
It's come on, man. Why you're hurting an innocent bystander? That I would say you're just as guilty as a cop.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's the truth of it.
That's
the truth of it.
Then you want justice to be done to this officer for what he did. And I would say this: do you want justice for what you're doing?
Come on. That's some food for thought.
Look, Papa Richard. But this is the part that they don't understand because they're not looking at the big picture. Okay, again, they're not looking at the big picture. You got, and here's one of their arguments. You got a cop that killed somebody and get away with it. But then you got another black person that'll kill another black person and they go to jail for it. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So the black person, the black person go to jail for the black on black crime, but the cop don't go to jail for the cop on black crime. So you want to justify this behavior by running out here in the streets and breaking in the stores and committing other crimes. Now look, they got all these people's faces on video.
Oh yeah.
Oh look, I'm looking at all these videos.
Yeah.
They got a clear, good view of who you are. And now, when all this died down, all they got to do is come knock at your door, doop, 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 show you the footage, and take you to jail.
Yeah.
And so you're still in the same situation. The cop is getting away with what they getting away with, and you getting caught for your crime. You're not making a change. The situation is staying the same. The behavior that you're doing is not causing change. You're going to just create a new situation for the same thing you're fighting for to continue to happen to you.
Yeah.
You know what? And when they do come knocking at their door, you know, what can we say? It's the same justice that you went over there and terrorized those other properties. The same justice that you wanted for that officer, you got it coming also.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's real.
That's real.
But the justice is going to be 3 times as much because we don't know how many people died because of your actions.
Yeah.
We don't know how many elderly people ended up in the hospital because of your actions. And the buildings that you lost and that you burned, you're going to have charges upon charges. Is that what I hope for? No, man. I said, just repent and give back, man. And we need to come together in unity because I don't need nobody to burn down my city, man.
And look, and that's the glory part about it, Papa Richard, what you just said right there. Even in the midst of everything happening, here is the glory of the God that we serve. If people would wake up, they can repent right now. Turn from that wicked way, march in the way of righteousness, and still may have the opportunity to make a difference.
Yeah. Like now is the time to change that the way of the destructiveness. Now is the time to change it. Now is the time to make it different, to turning it around for actual peace. Because as of right now, all this destruction that everybody's putting together, that's like my dad said, it's like, how many more people have you hurt? At least when this cop, when George Floyd died, you know, we know how many people died. One. That, you know, with that cop right there, one person died. But because of that, now we're letting all the emotions take place and we're causing all this extra destruction. I mean, there was a shootout. How many cops died from that shootout? I forgot in what state it was in, but I know that there was 2 other cops. There was an old man that was in retirement that they killed him and then looted his store. And he was actually a retired cop. You know, there's all these things. Like, how many more people are dying? How many more people have to die?
Have to die. That's the question. I was gonna let you keep speaking before I cut you off and say, how many more people have to die? Not just the ones that have died, but that if this behavior continues, how many more have to suffer because of this one situation?
Right.
You know what? Like they say, like they said, you have one bad police officer that did this.
Yep.
Not all of them are bad. You got some good cops out there.
Right.
And all they're doing, brother,
Oh man. You know what? I think he went out.
He probably, because wasn't he driving? It looked like he was driving, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, he's on his way to go see his stepson. His wife was on the passenger side, but you know, he warned us that his phone was about to die.
I see him in the 3rd box though.
Yeah, he's still in there.
Oh, you know what? I'm looking at an OP. Okay, now there we go. Okay, no, you're not.
Well, according to this, it's still showing that he's here, but you know, it could just be because maybe I don't know. If you're still there, Dad, and your phone is good, we're still here. But yeah, again, this is for anybody. I just want to continue throwing out. Yeah, he's out now. I think his phone died. But he was on the road. He's actually to go see his stepson and his wife because his wife's in the hospital. But you know, I was glad that he was able to jump in with us. But
Yeah,
you know,
dude, he dropped some nuggets. Look,
yeah.
Pop dropped some nuggets. I see where you get it from, man. Hey, look, you blessed like me, dude. Cause look,
Uh,
if you gonna look as good as your pops, look at his age. You know what I'm saying, dude? You got some, look, you got some good roads ahead of you. 'Cause look, my pops is up there, but my pops look good. So I'm like, man, if I can just hold on to my pops jeans and look as good as my pops look at his age.
yeah, I just got the message that his phone died. But but yeah,
Right.
man, I'm telling you, dude, it's you know, it's just it's the time where we have to really just really check everything, check what's happening, check what's you know what's taking place in this world, and you know, overall we got to be different. We got to be
That's right.
different.
We gotta be different. That's
Got to
look,
be different, man.
we're called to be a peculiar people, dude. So we're peculiar people. We can't
Right.
do what everybody else is doing. We can't do what everybody else been doing. We gotta do something peculiar, a little something different that make the people say, "Whoa, where did that come from?
We got
I wasn't expecting that."
Right, right. You know, we got to be different, man. I know the circumstance of what happened. You know it's not good. Yeah, my heart grieves. My heart grieves for for George Floyd. My heart grieves for his family, his loved ones. You know, but you know what was cool that I also found out because I was trying to find out, man. Are they doing any fundraisers for this guy? And $3 million was raised up for his funeral.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and
I know Floyd Weather. Like I know Floyd
exactly.
Mayweather.
Yeah,
Floyd Mayweather. I don't know how much he put forth, but he stepped up and said that he would pay for the whole funeral.
the
So
whole
I don't
funeral.
know. Right? Yeah, I know Floyd
The
Mayweather
whole.
stepped up and said that he would pay for the funeral. So
Hey, shout
yeah,
out to Floyd Mayweather, man. You know that was an awesome move right there to be able to handle this. You know, to take care of that. You know, I was like, man, where was the fundraisers? But then people were hitting me up because I put that, man. Is there any fundraisers for George Floyd? And people say like they don't need it no more, man. There was one. There was a GoFundMe and it hit $3 million.
yeah. And
That that
I think it was Floyd Mayweather who stepped in
Yeah.
and dropped that down. He said he
Well,
would pay for the whole
there
funeral.
was a couple of famous people that threw some big donations in, and then with Floyd Mayweather saying that you know that he's covering the funeral. That's awesome. Apparently, they're having like 3 or 4 different funerals for him in different states. That's crazy.
Mm,
That's awesome. But yeah, man,
man.
that's a big statement, man. That's a big statement with everybody. But that's what it's talking about, man. That's right there. That's love. That's peace. That's unity. That's coming together, you know. And I know that we're still out. I know that we're still out looking for some justice, some right justice for them. But I'm gonna tell you guys, man, what's not justice is what we're doing. All the destruction.
That's right. It's
That
not gonna
that's
leave like it's not. It's a temporary. That's a temporary feeling of justice.
yeah.
You know what I'm
And,
saying?
and,
That's a temporary feeling of justice.
and let's be real. Some of these are just people that are just looking for the come up.
That's right.
Yeah, you know,
And
they're just like
and then like I told you, I can't be mad at them because it's a setup.
yeah, you
They're
know,
they're they're, they're orchestrating a lot of people that they know is going to be looking for an opportunity to come up, and then they give it to them. Like they're not even the ones that's initiating it, but once
yeah,
the opportunity is presented, they're taking
that
advantage of it.
that
I'm not
that's it.
justifying them doing it, but it's entrapment.
Yeah, it is an
It's freaking entrapment.
Yep, and it's crazy, man. We gotta so for people, man, we gotta just be careful. We have to be careful with what we're doing, man. We have to be careful with with our actions because these consequences are not gonna be fun, man. They're not
Right.
gonna be fun. Again, I want to continue to throw out the meeting ID. The number is 841
841
1005
1005
4253.
4253.
Why
And on
we
this
would like
line,
for
I hear y'all saying y'all can't hear me, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this one. But there is another live that I'm on since you can't hear me on this one. But I also shared the link that my brother Richard is sharing from the Christ Side Productions, so that on my news feed as well. But I'm gonna end this one since y'all can't hear me. Sorry for that.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. I appreciate what you did right there. But at the end of it, we want you guys to jump in, be a part. Want you guys to make your statements. Again, that number is 841-1005-4253.
4253.
Jump on in. We want to hear what you guys have to say. This is a Zoom meeting, so if you guys have the Zoom, man, use that meeting ID. You could come in, and we will definitely love to have and see what it is that you guys have to say or share. This is the time that we need to just continue to spread love, joy, and love, peace, unity, justice. I was hoping that there was a link, but what I am glad about is the fact that the money for George Floyd, for the funeral and all that, it was raised. Shout out to all the people who donated there. I was gonna put the link, but the link didn't exist anymore because
Hey, but dude, they got 3 million. He got 3 million. The family got
3 million.
They good. They
Man,
good.
they
Shout out
good.
to Floyd Mayweather. They good, man.
Yeah, they are
Glory to
good.
God.
But yeah, so but we can just continue to use this platform, of spreading the love, man. We got to spread peace and unity, man. We got,
Yep.
we got to show that we can all come together as people, different, all races,
Right.
all races, all people, beliefs, cultures, backgrounds. Whatever it is, we got to
All in the name of righteousness. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's-
there's no color lines, there's no racism, there's no discrimination in righteousness, man. If anything is built on the foundation of righteousness, all of that division, wickedness, man, it won't stand.
It won't stand. And we had Manuel, prodigal son. He was on. I don't know if you're still on, my brother. We want you to jump on in. So I want it's just a time, man. It's a time that we gotta just come together. We have to stop. We have to be above reproach, be above the circumstance. We need to present ourselves well. Present ourselves to be bigger than the situation and the circumstance at hand. It's crazy, man. It's crazy out there. Has there been any other news going on? I was when I was watching, when I was actually looking, I was reading this little article, man, about those things that lined up with what you were saying, man, about the that the people they're being hired to come in and start the actual destruction.
Right.
To start looting, to start breaking things. And a lot of these people, when I was reading, is 80% of the arrests yesterday, within the 24 hour, they were white people, and they were a part of a group, a white organized group. And this isn't to come against people, but man, we got to come against these groups, and we can't fall upon. If you're out there and you're protesting and you see somebody start destroying something, stop them. Stop them.
Right.
Make a stand and stop them.
Right. And some of them are doing that. I've seen some videos with some people saying they out there like, no, this is not what we came out here for. Don't do this or whatever. But again, the majority of the people the majority of the people that they're attracting, if given the opportunity to come up, are going to do it. And they know that.
Yeah.
And those folks, like you say, those folks are strategically placed out there to encourage this stuff to happen.
Yeah.
So that's why I said the only thing that can stop that, the only thing that can combat that, is people going out there in the spirit of God, in the spirit of righteousness, praising and glorifying God. Then it's going to expose that enemy, because he's not going to be on the same agenda.
With a pure heart.
That's right.
With a pure heart. If we're going out there for the right reason, the focus is justice for George Floyd. Pure heart. Stop people. Don't let them start causing the destruction to start something crazy. You guys, stop everybody that is we have to just put a pause, man. Like, what are you guys doing? Why are you guys looting these places? Why are you guys breaking in? Even if the opportunity presents before you, man, get away from it. Resist it. Get away from it. You got to, because
And then it also look good. Also, too, it comes down to with examining your heart.
Yeah.
You know you.
yeah,
So if you know that you're the type of person that when that opportunity presents itself, that you're going to take advantage of it and not go out there in peace and justice, then stay at home.
yeah. I mean,
Then stay at home. Then stay at home, because that's the time when you got to examine your own heart. Like the Bible says, we got to look at our own heart. We know what's going to tempt us, what's not going to tempt us, what we're going to do, what we're not going to do. So if my heart ain't right going out, then don't go out. Stay home.
Yep.
Stay home. It ain't gonna make a difference. But the people that's out there with the right hearts that can maintain righteousness, let them do the job of righteousness.
Yeah. I completely agree, man. It's stay home. If you can't resist it, just stay home. That is the best way to do it. Unless you're going out there with a pure heart, man. Protest, and by all means protest, but do it pure, with a pure heart, because man, I mean, there's not even too much to say after that, man. It's don't get caught up in the mix. Just do what's right. Do it the right way. Do it properly, because at the end of it, this is what it's all about right here. The love, the peace, the unity. Man,
and that's gonna equal justice. Like you should have put love, peace, unity equals justice.
That's what we should have put right there. I put and justice, but
right. But it's all the same. It's all the same. But that will equal justice, because if you come in love and you come in peace and in unity, then now your goal is to equal justice, man. That's the formula. You can't reach justice without love, peace, and unity.
Without love, peace, and unity, that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line of all of it, amen. I mean, even with the point where when you go back in biblical times, at the end of everything, when Jesus was already up on the cross, check this out. When Jesus was all up on the cross, what did he tell the Father? Forgive them, for they know not what they do. That was a love prayer. For you and I.
That's right.
So when Christians, body of Christ, my God, we have to make a stand and stop the destruction. Don't allow people to destroy things, to get all caught up with the looting and the destruction, because that's not the way to do it. We have to make a stand.
Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do, man. See what I'm saying? That people went out there with the march, and you know what I'm saying, with that mentality, we were standing for justice, but we're asking you to even forgive them, for they know not what they did to that man. You know what I'm saying? But we need justice, but forgive him. But we need justice. Let's have peace, but we need justice. Let's show love, but we need justice. You know what I'm saying? If they go out with that mentality, man, it'll be hard for someone in the midst of that crowd to hire people to excite them and change their focus, but they're stepping out in the enemy territory with the wrong weapons, man.
That's it.
They're stepping out with the wrong mental weapons, man.
I mean, we had to look at the true situation here, man. We have to go back, and we have to continue to talk about George Floyd, because that's the point. That's the purpose. The purpose is justice for George Floyd.
That's right.
So we have to stay focused on that. We have to stay focused on that. And anything other than that, then we miss the point. So again, I'm gonna go ahead and continue to 841-1005-4253. That is the Zoom ID number. If you guys got Zoom and you guys want to join in on the conversation, jump on in. Again, the number is 841-1005-4253. 4253. Would like to we definitely want more people come in. We've had a couple of people here and there, but we are we're open for the conversation. We want to talk about this. We want to talk about spreading love. We want to talk about spreading peace. We want to talk about spreading unity, and of course justice, because love, peace, and unity equals justice. I love that, Conscious, man.
Amen.
I love
Amen.
I love what you said right there, but I'm gonna patent that one. All right.
Okay, you can have look. We just set a couple of patents tonight. You can have that one. I take the other one, which I done forgot already. Now I should have wrote it down. But hey, what's crazy though? I thought about. I've been looking at my live feed while I'm on here, and I've been noticing a lot of people. You know what I'm saying, joining in. I notice a lot when I go live or when I post stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's always a lot of people that has a different perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're quick to voice their comments. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times it's from a wrong standpoint. You know what I'm saying? But they want to try to contradict. And when you open up an opportunity like this, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you got a different field, you got a different feed. Let's discuss it. Let's talk about it in a form of righteousness. Now this door opportunity is open. Man, folks don't want to jump on it. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to
Yeah.
hide. They want to stay in that bubble. They want to hide with that perspective that's leading towards destruction. And yet, if you're so confident in that perspective and that's how you feel, and you see something like this going on, this is your time.
Yeah.
Step in and
It's
voice that
just
opinion. But then if you looking and you seeing what's going on and then you hearing the truth and you hearing these facts, you like, oh nah, I ain't trying to step,
that's what that
I'm trying to
that's
step
what
up
the
in that arena. I'm trying to step up in that arena right now because you know what I'm saying. So it's kind of crazy to me. It's like sometimes hold them opinions to yourself if you ain't ready to try to defend what you're saying.
so on yours, do you what is it that you have? We have Manuel. He said, "What's up?" Well, he said, "What's good, fam?" He's talking about all of us. I know that I've shared this on some other platforms. I'm trying to see if I can catch some of them, and on some of these other platforms over here, but I'm not really sure. But anybody, if you guys want, we're on YouTube. We're at the Christside Productions. We're also you guys, of course, it's shared on different pages inside of Facebook. If you're on Facebook, of course you got it. But if you guys want to tune into a one channel and put your statements or your comments in, YouTube, you just look at the Christside Productions. I also got the link on the Christside Productions. And again, if you guys want to zoom in. We
Right. So man,
we
that's what I want
want
to
you.
say, especially folks that got like that perspective and they trying to justify their rights to go out there and tear up the city. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And you really feel that you standing for, especially those that use the word of God to justify their
Oh man.
their actions, or even if
It-
you just feel strongly like this is how my actions is, let's discuss it because you might be able to influence somebody else to the truth by listening to what and discussing what we're talking about today. I felt a little uncomfortable earlier this week because I had I won't say a friend because friends are usually people that you spend a lot of time with, you socialize with, you exercise. Like I was telling you that growth, you know what I'm saying, and things
right.
like this. But then we do know people, our
Right.
lives for a certain period of time. And this young lady that I pretty much know since she was born. You know what I'm saying? I consider her
Right.
like my best friend's sister daughter. And the other day, dude, out the blue, she hit me up and was like, "I'm deleting you from Facebook because you promoting black people's destruction, and you supposed to be a man of God and a prophet of God, and you trying to tell black people to just what I'm saying." Listen, I'm sitting there like, wow,
What?
I can't. I like, is that me? I'm like, man, I'm not really. That's not what I'm trying to project. That's not how I feel like what I'm projecting. But everybody' perspective is correct in them. So I've learned in my time on this earth, man, it's
Yeah.
useless to argue a person's perspective. They're gonna see it the way they see it. They're gonna feel the way they feel about it. You know what I'm saying? But the only way to come to any kind of conclusion is through communication.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Let's talk about it. See where I'm
Hey,
coming from.
All right, well
Um,
check this out. We actually got someone coming in right now. I'm gonna see if I can. What's uh model Justin the creative? Oh, it's Justin King.
Justin King.
Yeah, let me. He's got to activate his
Look,
camera
you
and
gotta
his
coach. Look,
microphone.
you gotta coach everybody how to.
Gotta teach him how to do Zoom, huh? I'm gonna have Zoom lessons. There we go. There we go. How's it going, my brother? Let's see. I don't think he can hear us yet.
Yeah, he
I
ain't
see
on
his
yet.
I see his microphone activated.
I see his
Uh,
I see his icon, his logo, but I don't see him.
yeah. That's can you just activate your it should be like the bottom left corner of your screen. You should have the microphone and the camera. All you gotta do is just tap them. Okay, I think I hear your background. I think, but I don't got nothing coming from you. Just just say hello once you think you're in. We'll respond as soon as we hear you. But yeah, and your camera is off too. It should be the bottom left corner of your screen.
Tap the screen first.
Yeah, if you're doing it from your phone,
Somebody hear
tap
me?
your screen. Yeah, there you go.
We got voice,
We
but no
got your
video.
voice. No video.
Somebody hear me?
Yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Yeah,
All
sorry
right.
about that.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. This is Justin King, right? You got two different names going on.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I seen you post earlier today, man. I was like, your message was pretty awesome, you know. So I was like, yeah, let me see if he's willing to come on and speak his statement, you know, because that was a pretty awesome point that you were doing there.
I appreciate it, man. I really do. I apologize. I'm out in the Fairfield, California area, and apparently there's some type of helicopter crash that ran into some towers or something. So
Oh
we got like a
Oh,
big blackout out here. So all of our like a lot of our cell phones aren't working. Like we haven't had power for like the last 6 hours. So
oh
it's kind
wow.
of challenging. I actually have somebody from a cell phone company gonna call me back in a few minutes, trying to make sure everything is okay. Because man, it's been kind of difficult today.
Man,
man. Hey, well, we praying for you, my brother.
yeah, we're praying.
Oh, thank you.
How bad was the accident over there? Was it something that just how bad was it? Oh, I think we're losing them again. Oh,
Yeah, he got some issues.
yeah, he's good. Yeah, so you guys heard he's actually having a little bit of phone issues going on, but he's coming in and out, but the microphone is I don't know if he's getting any microphone response. It doesn't look like it. But again, I'm gonna just
Hello.
throw this. All right, there you are again.
Back again.
You back again.
Man, I got booted. I got booted out again. I don't know how long I'll be able to stay on.
All right, all right. Well, why
Hey,
don't
well,
you?
you got the floor. You got the floor, my brother.
Yeah, we're
Speak the
gonna give
peace
you the
while
floor.
Speak the peace while you got it.
Yeah, no, it's just something that I've been because I mean y'all talking about the looting and the George Floyd and everything, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, to me it just I one thing that I've my dad, God bless his soul, he passed away about 2 years ago. But one thing that he would always teach me is if you were to make a decision, you don't never make it out of fear and out of anger, because
Right.
99.9% of the time that decision is gonna come back to haunt you, or it's gonna hurt somebody else, or it's gonna hurt
Hmm.
yourself some kind of way. So I think that yeah, there are people that are upset when it comes to George Floyd and what's been happening way before him, and the hundreds of years of slavery. Like I understand that, but overall, like the one who made, I believe, a lot of progress during this, during that kind of events where black people being harmed was Martin Luther King.
That's
And
right.
I honestly believe that history should repeat itself. He was a leader that stood up. He didn't, and I'm sure he was bribed over and over to stand down by whoever government or whatever, but he kept his course. A lot of people don't know one of his houses blew up. He was stabbed. And so it's like he went through a lot of stuff, and I think that we need somebody to rise up to understand, like, okay, peaceful protest is the way to go, and it has proven that it has worked effectively.
Amen.
But
Right.
also, like, but we need to have that fine line of people who are protesting and then people who are rioting, because there's some people that just want to flat screen TV. They don't care
That's
about
right.
George Floyd. And
That's right.
they'll raise their fist in the air. They'll wear a mask that says "I can't breathe" on it. They'll wear a shirt, but they not there for him. They not there for him at all. I remember a few years ago. See, I used to live in Oakland, and a few years ago when when Oakland's freeways was shut down because protesters got on it or whatever, and they blocked up the 880 North and the 880 South. I knew people that were on that freeway, and they told me they were there just because they knew they wasn't going to get caught. They said, we are here because we know it's too many people and the police can't catch all of us. So the
Right.
problem is we don't have that dividing line between protesters and rioters. And we need to like make that dividing line so that we can actually say this person ain't with us just because they black or just because whatever, they not with us. We trying to do this the right way. And I think that would be a big start. And then also going to politics, protesting them. They're the ones that can make the laws, to change the policies. Going to police and saying stop killing us has not been working. Like, but we keep doing it, and then we get mad when it happens again. It's like people are, insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results.
That's
So
right.
that's pretty much kind of my take on it.
Hey man, I feel you 100%, my brother. You pretty much kind of alliterated. Oh, you know what I'm trying to say. On what I was saying, and to the perspective that, you know what I'm saying, people are going out doing the same thing over again, expecting a different result. It ain't gonna happen. We gotta do something different. You know what I'm saying? We gotta do something different. We got the folks out there that's looking for opportunity. And what people don't understand, they study us psychologically,
Yes.
mentally, physically. They look at our actions and they determine, okay, well, if we do this, they're gonna do that. If we do this, they're gonna do that. So they know it. Like I was telling my brother Richard, if you get a mass of people out there in one area, everybody intentions is let's go out here and be peaceful and let's try to get some justice. But in that crowd, you got those that's looking to come up. Now, if that opportunity for them not to come up don't occur, because you have a lot of protesters that start peaceful and end peaceful.
Right.
Because of how it's organized and how it's structured. But then when you got some people and they've proven, and you've seen this organizations of people that's exciting the riots, they're the ones breaking the windows. They're the ones that's giving the opportunity to those that want to come up.
Right.
So even if I came out there with the opportunity to, like I'm saying, I'm only coming out here as soon as I get a chance to come up, I'm gonna do it. But if that chance don't come up for me to come up, that opportunity don't happen, then I won't do what I'm gonna do. But then now if there's an organization of people that's gonna make sure that I get that opportunity, then you're gonna have the chaos and everything that's going on now. But I was telling Brother Richard, and you mentioned Martin Luther King. They went out in the protest of a mixture of praising God and asking for justice.
Yeah.
At the same time. When Martin Luther King them hit the streets, they was quoting scriptures, they were singing praises to God, and they was asking for justice at the same time. That's not what's happening right now. People are only asking for justice and reacting to the fact that they're not getting it, but they're not putting God in it. They're not praising God, because like I was telling Brother Richard, how difficult would it be for a crowd of people to break off and start looting and acting crazy if everything is formed around praising God? You out there quoting scriptures, singing praises out loud, the whole crowd, everybody's into giving glory to God while we're asking for justice. As soon as somebody even try to spark up that nonsense, it's not going to mix, and it's going to stand out right away. Hold up, you ain't with the get down.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
Get down is to give God glory and ask for justice. And now here you are coming out here trying to bust a window and come up on some free stuff. You not with the get down, and that person would stand out like a sore thumb.
Right.
Yep. That's true.
You know,
I
I
agree.
was
It definitely. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just coming up. I was agreeing with your statement when you were talking about Martin Luther King. You know, Martin Luther King. I was sharing earlier, like with Martin Luther King, the things that they practiced during their protests. You know, they were about love. They were about peace. They were about unity. They were about justice. They were about these things and doing these things right and doing these things in the name of God. So with that, results took place.
That's right.
Results happen. Whether rights came in, civil rights came in, opportunity came in, and it brought more people to a more equal playing ground. But now that we're, because even though the laws and everything now apply to all men, there's still one problem. That problem is the way we look at people. The way that we look at each other. The way it's hard to look at somebody. If you look at a homeless person, it's hard to look at him and have the stereotype of saying that he's a person compared to, oh, that's a homeless person. You're going to automatically have a judgment. You're going to automatically have a stereotype. It's something that's just built, and that's something that we have to look inside of us as people to begin to change that outlook. We have to be able to look at each other and say, that's a person. It's no longer about saying, oh, that's a black person, that's a Mexican person, that's a white person, that's a, all these labels. At the end of it, we're all people. Just like Martin Luther King said, we're all people, we're all equal, we should all be equal, we need to all be equal, and that's also in our eyes. We need to be equal in our eyes. When we view people, and that's part of the big problem nowadays. We don't look at people. They're stereotypes, and I'm gonna be real with the stereotypes. Mexicans, apparently they all crossed the border, and we all jump the river or whatever. I'm just being real. I'm just being real, right?
But it ain't true. But it's a stereotype.
It's a stereotype. They say all Asians can't drive. There's whatever all these things are. Everybody comes to a point where this is the reality of it. This is the reality of people's eyes, and that's what needs to change. That's what needs to change, because and the only way that's going to change is, and Martin Luther King did it the best, and I think that he was one of the best examples. He did it with love, he did it with peace, and he did it by bringing unity amongst the people, and that's what caused rights to begin to take place for all people the same. Now we just have to take that justice that took place as far as the with Martin Luther King, and we need to be able to place that justice within our own eyes, that unity within our eyes. Justice was the wrong word. We need to be able to place that unity, that outlook into our own eyes as people, because that's what's gonna kill the whole situation, the whole circumstance. You look at somebody and it's like, by the view of the way someone dresses, they're a thug.
Right.
And that's the type of stuff that needs to stop. And in the same token, that the way our views need to stop, people got to also understand what is going to make that stop. The things that's going to make that stop is and this is just analogies, of course, is if, let's just say, a person that dresses like a thug stops dressing like a thug. Meaning that that's all boiling down to one thing, and that's that we can't expect to do the same thing and expect new results.
Right.
If we want,
or from that same perspective, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people look at what can this person do to change, you know what I'm saying? So we would love to see the thug person say, or that look is a stereotype. So If that certain look causes that certain reaction, then stop dressing that certain way. Okay, that's fine. Right. Or if you're going to still choose to dress that way, understand what the consequences are and prepare yourself for them. Now, don't get out of character. Don't let it, when it happened, don't let it draw you out of character. Oh, you stereotyping me or this and that. And No, make sure you're right, for one, because when I was a counselor and I had to counsel with these guys who had just gotten out of like the federal penitentiary, and I'm trying to like help them gather a different perception of the situations that that they're going to be facing, you know what I'm saying, coming out of jail and getting back into the streets. And I would always tell them, if you're going to choose to look like how they're going to stereotype you, just make sure you're right, that you're in the righteous, that you're not in any type of illegal position, that if you're going to choose to look that way, then make sure you ain't got no drugs on you, make sure you ain't got no guns on you, make sure that, you know what I'm saying, that you're doing what's supposed to be right, because you know they're going to judge you. Yeah. And you can't expect them to change, because it's like this for them. 80% of the time, they stereotype you for that look. They're right. You got some drugs on you, you got a gun on you, you're doing some type of illegal activity, when you look like that. So 80% of the time, they're right. 20% of the time, they're wrong. It's just a person that want to dress like that. A person that just want to look like that. The person ain't up to nothing illegal. So that 20% of the time they're wrong compared to that 80% of the time they're right, you're going to do what they're going to do because the percentage is in their favor, because it's 80%. And I would always use an example of, if every scratcher that I go buy in the lotto, if there was an 80% chance that I was going to win on that scratcher, guess where my whole paycheck is going?
To the scratcher. That's right.
I'm going to spend my whole paycheck on scratchers, because there's an 80% chance I'm going to win and come up. So that's where my whole, so it's the same thing with them. There's an 80% chance when you got that look that their stereotype is great. Right. You look like that. That's how those people dress. That's what they're doing. So you look like a thug. But then me, I haven't changed the way I look since I gave my life to the Lord. I still dress like a thug. People look at me, they think that. But guess what? When you stop me, officer, I don't got no drugs on me. I don't got no gun on me. I ain't got no nothing on me. I'm that 20% where you wrong.
Yeah.
And I look like this. So you got to make that choice. Where's that line at? If you know they're going to do that, it's like Richard said, then stop dressing like that. If you don't want to be harassed like that, stop dressing like that. Because there's an 80% chance that they're going to mess with you. And it's because there's an 80% chance when they stereotype, they're right.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. I actually had a situation where I was in Oakland. I was at the bus stop, and this cop was driving up the wrong side of the street. I was on 35th and MacArthur, and right there is pretty much a cell phone store. It's like a third-party cell phone store. They sell T-Mobile phones and all type of stuff. And I'm at the bus stop, and I know how I was dressed. This is still how I dress to this day. You know, maybe not every day, but I got stereo. And the cop was driving up the wrong side of the street where cars are supposed to go down. He was on that same side driving up. So I saw him driving up, and I can tell whoever he was looking for was close. So I'm like turning my head, looking up the street to see, like, man, is there somebody running? I don't see
right.
him.
Who they looking for?
I'm like, who they looking for? And then he comes out of the car, takes it away from me, and he puts a gun in my head, and he tells me to freeze. And so I'm just looking at, and I looked, and I never forget his eyes. Like, everything in his face, in his eyes, told me, I will shoot you if you do not listen to what I say. But it wasn't because of him protecting himself. I just saw fear all in his eyes. Like, I mean, his eyes were bloodshot. He was just looking at me. He was breathing, freeze. Like, he was really looking at me, and I'm looking at him like, oh, this dude got the wrong dude. But I'm looking at him like, this dude will shoot me if I don't do exactly what he says. He told me to drop my phone. I dropped my phone. Get on your stomach. Got on my stomach. Turn around. I did all of that. He came, cuffed me, 2 other cop cars came up, so now there's like 6 police officers. And then I'm in the back of the car and I just prayed. And by the time I was done praying, they opened the door and they took my wallet, they took my ID and everything, and they told me, "Oh, we apologize, we got the wrong person." And when I got out the car, at first I didn't know how to feel, but I just told them, I was like, "Well, I thank you guys for your service." I was like, "I don't, y'all didn't harass me, y'all didn't beat me down, y'all didn't, I don't like the way the
Right.
cops."
Right,
But
right. It could have been worse. It was inconvenience, but it could have been worse. I thank you for not making it worse.
Yeah, yeah.
It could have been 100 times worse. And so it
Right.
just, I'm who knows, and I'm grateful for many reasons that didn't happen, not just because I'm here and I have 2 kids of my own, but also like if anything would have happened, chances are there would have been more looting and more rioting and more, and that's not good for society as well. But it's
Yeah.
true. I mean,
Yeah.
when they
Right.
it's
And look, and your simple act of obedience, you see what I'm saying? Your simple act of obedience, humbling yourself, again, from the perspective of your heart, dude. See, that's what God looks at. You see what I'm saying? God looks at that
Yeah.
heart. He's like, man, this dude humbled himself for the heart, not just only for himself, his family, and just the whole society in general. Like, look, these people, I could have acted up. This could have been a situation like Floyd right now.
Yeah.
yeah.
Back then. But the
And I
humility,
feel
dude, man,
and I-
folks don't understand that, man, dude. They don't understand them jewels in kingdom. They don't understand them kingdom dues that we earn for our behavior here on this earth.
yeah. Yeah, and I think it's a lot of reasons I think for that too. I mean, even the music today, like a lot of it is just selfish. Like I'm the king, I'm the boss, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm
Yeah.
that. And I think after a while of being so high minded into them, not even just songs, but just really thinking stuff like that, it's harder for most people to be humble. Like something will
Right.
happen to somebody and they feel like they gotta express it. Like, I'm gonna see posts all the time on Facebook that say, don't apologize if don't be apologetic if you told somebody off or if you got in their face and did it
Right.
because you was just keeping it real. I'm like, what?
Right.
You better go
Come
back
on
and
now.
apologize. Like that ain't,
Yeah.
but people's mindsets is so warped nowadays.
Yeah.
Like we see quick memes that sound good, but it really don't make sense, and then we just agree with it, or we listen. We always putting our heads into selfish type of mindset. So it's just weird. Like it's, and I feel like that's part of the problem.
Are anything that's easy to avoid accepting responsibility.
That you want to know something? It's so easy to. This is the crazy thing. It's so easy to react according to our pride, right? So
That's true.
it's so easy to react towards it, but that's where we get the worst results.
Right.
That's true.
And people don't get that. So if we were to subject our pride, we would get something so much more. Just like
The
you
reward
subjected
is greater.
the reward is greater. Just like your circumstance where the cop pulled up and you just said all right and you just did it. You subjected your pride, because you could have got up and still like, whoa, what is it? You could have went off on them, but that would have probably been a very bad result.
Yeah.
But you're rewarding, and then the humility at the end of it, where they're like, hey, I'm sorry, we got the wrong, hey, I appreciate your guys' service. That speaks volume. That speaks volume. That speaks the peace. That speaks the unity. And there was and at the end of it, justice was taking place at the end, because you were released. They let you go, because they could have. There's some cities that they'll plant stuff on people just to shut everything up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's true.
And I gotta say, because even in my times when I was younger, I was in the 90s, I was one of the break dancers. And back in the break dancers, hey, back off, boy. Peace. Nah, I was one of those. I was a break dancer, right? So the break dancers back in those days, they dressed in the big baggy clothes because it gave room. But who else dressed in the big baggy clothes back in the days? The gangbangers and the taggers. And I used to get stopped a lot because I looked like one of them. And what gang? I'm not from a gang. Why are you dressed like this? Because it's easier to dance in. It was part of that 80-20 that you're talking about. But I was one of them 20% that you were wrong. you know,
Right.
and but at the end of it, also I could have been. I was a minor. I could have been smart aleck if I would have went like did what a lot of my friends did. I could have been smart aleck with them, been telling them off and all that stuff. But that wasn't my thing. My thing was, hey, just be cool. Just be
Yeah,
cool. Be,
yeah,
stand in peace. Stay, back. Just stay cool. I was a Christian, but I did the break dancing,
yeah.
and I was
Right.
and I was a Christian, so it was like
Hey, Christians can break dance too.
hey man,
Yeah.
I go guys that spin on their heads still, right? You know, but that's the whole thing, even though I chose to dress that way, I knew what came along with it, just like you were mentioning. Understand
Right.
what you're gonna, if you're gonna do something a certain way, and if you're gonna live a certain way, and you're gonna have a certain look, understand what comes with that look, and be ready for it, and be ready to respond responsibly, be able to respond correctly, so that's
Yeah.
why nothing bad will happen, because at the end of it,
Being righteous, being that point of
being
righteousness.
being
If
pure.
you're in a position of righteousness, then their misperception of you is going to be exposed.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? If you maintain the position of righteousness, then their misperception of you is going to be exposed. But if you allow, again, you could be 100% right in any situation, but your behavior can make you 100% wrong. So now you're in a position of righteousness, then your behavior, your attitude, you know what I'm saying, and how you talk to them and behave in that situation now make you wrong. And so now, yeah, you right. They got you wrong. You was that 20%, but now you finna get treated like the 80.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
yep.
conscious, real quick, I'll let you speak right now. Manuel said to check your messages.
Oh,
Prodigal son, he said check your messages. All right, go ahead, my brother. You were gonna say something?
No, I was just agreeing. I was it was funny because I was thinking about the same thing when he was first talking about the 80%. I was thinking
Yeah.
that a lot of times too, that 20% of the people get thrown into the 80 because of how they act. It's
Just
like,
because.
and especially like with what you guys were saying about with pride and with cockiness, there are people
Yeah.
that feel like just because say like the police pull somebody over, they don't have nothing on them. Now they have the cockiness to feel like they can treat the police like any
Right.
way they can and
Right.
still forget that they got the gun, they got the badge. And so it's like it's your word against theirs. And people do that. And it's sad because like we gotta be ready. And then a lot of times too, like people don't I know one thing too, and I can't even say I know everything about laws and policies and everything. I don't know every single, I don't know all the penal codes, I don't know all of this stuff, but a
Yeah.
lot of times too, people look ignorant because they'll say things like I know my rights and not know that the police is actually in the right for asking for a certain thing. So it just makes them look like more of an idiot because it's just like, oh, you got to do this and you got to just like, well, he read you your Miranda rights. You ain't have to say nothing. Like, you know what I mean? You can wait to your lawyer. You can, but most people don't know what to say or
Right.
what to do. They just feel like going off. So now that 20% that they were in, no drugs on them, no gun or anything. Now they are thrown into the 80 because they're
Now, now, now,
right,
now they're in the mix because of how
right.
they reacted.
And then look, and it's like this too. You got this to me is the biggest joke, and it makes me laugh the most when people say what the police can and cannot do.
Mm.
Facts outweigh your opinion and your perspective of anything. Facts
Yep.
is they do what they want to do.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true.
Bottom
Yeah.
line, they do what they want to do. You done
Right.
seen it time after time again. Constitutional rights being violated, citizen rights being violated. So for you to try to even imagine that you're gonna stand on the foundation to say that, oh, the police can't do this and they can't do that, that's foolish. You see what they're doing. So
Yep.
get rid of that mentality. Don't
Yeah.
stand on that mentality. Understand that you are in a situation where these rights means nothing to you and act accordingly.
Just
That,
act
that,
right.
that's simple mathematics.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Just to mention like one of my circumstances that kind of like we have to understand not every cop is bad, right?
That's
Right.
true. True.
And of course there's bad cops out there, but just like people, there's good people and there's bad people,
everywhere.
Now, and sometimes you're just sometimes you could just be in the wrong place at the wrong time. You're getting the wrong circumstance. Because there was a time where I lived when I was living over in Buena Park. This is Orange County area, and I lived across the street from a Taco Bell. Well, one night there was a shooting at that Taco Bell, and somebody died. 2 days later, I just so happened to go to Taco Bell, and there was a group of youngsters out there, and I go inside the Taco Bell, and then I order my food. I come out, and then I see one of the guys I know. I was younger too, and I see one of the guys I know. But just the moment that I walked out and I seen one of my friends, I was like, like, hey, like, what's going, hit him up, right? Cops roll up, boom, 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 like crazy. Cops roll up, and they're just like, and they came out, what are you doing, blah, blah, like your circumstance where you came out, I'll shoot you, they came out with full authority, right? Yeah. And it's like, whoa, I was like, what the heck? And I completely forgot in my mind because I just seen my friend. First off, I was thinking about getting Taco Bell, and then afterwards I seen my friend. I completely forgot the fact that there was a shooting at that time. And when those cops rolled up, you of course you could sit there and be like, well, man, what the heck? They had us all sitting on the curb, and they're like asking me like, what are you doing here? Oh, I was just getting food. I just so happened to see my friend, right? But it was just like they're questioning all of us, and if they were the way they pulled up, I mean, nowadays the way people are acting towards cop, that probably wouldn't have went very good.
Yeah.
Right.
But but to justify the cop, it's like you don't know what a cop is coming up upon. You don't know what took place at that particular time. You don't know, like for you, apparently they were looking for somebody that was dangerous. You don't know what it is that they're doing. So it's just like and it's even a biblical principle to respect authority, to respect law and authority.
Right.
And if we could get that, I'm telling you, now I know a lot of people will probably sit there and say, oh, call us bootlickers and all that, but it's not about being a bootlicker. It's about being smart. Yeah. You want to make it to the next day. You don't know what the cops are facing. You don't know what the cops are doing, And we have to sit here and we have to also take the stuff that they do and the stuff that they face in hand. Like, okay,
right.
because they're...
Look, one thing I want to say, though, you said, again, downgrading the behavior as a bootleg. You know what I'm saying? I don't accept that. With my behavior and my attitude towards how I respond, I don't consider myself a bootlegger. I consider myself a person that's looking at a situation and trying to maintain my righteousness.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because I stress this my ever since, especially since this situation is kicked off with the Floyd situation and all of this rioting and stuff. You could be 100% right in any situation, but how you behave can make you 100% wrong.
Right.
So what we got to focus on is maintaining the righteousness in the situation. So no matter when you're being approached, what situation is happening, you got to look at the, especially if you know you're right. If you're wrong, if you're in the wrong, then now you got to try to figure your way out of your situation and try not to get caught.
Right.
Because I'm wrong. I got drugs on me. I got a gun on me. I'm doing something that I shouldn't be doing. So now I'm approached by this authority figure that I got to try to swindle my way out of this and try to make them know. If I'm standing in 100% righteousness from the start, then I got to make sure whatever behavior I choose, I don't move out of my position of righteousness.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's between you and God. It's not between you and that police officer.
Come on, man, my brother. Man, look, and it's kind of crazy. I'm a Christian. I say by default because I only follow Christianity because I want to be like Christ. But the religion of Christianity has its issues. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, it does.
I'm trying to be like Christ. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
I was in a position for like about 11 years. I worked at a job where I couldn't promote my Christianity because the diversity of faith that I had to deal with as a counselor. So
Right.
God blessed me, man, with a way to talk about righteousness, which is of Him, to talk about His love, which is of Him, to talk about just being responsible and doing the right things in life, which all falls in according to the line of the Word of God, without even having to mention God about it when I say it. But then when I'm talking about stuff in the situations and not mentioning God, and a brother like yourself throw in what you said, man, it's like, man, come on. If the world can't see it, they blind.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's true. Hey, I really appreciated talking with you guys. I'm gonna have to
Eh,
head out, but if y'all got any more of these, like, let me know. I definitely want to tune back in with you guys.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. What if you you can also subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll get the notices all the time because every time we do something like Zoom like this, I open it up like that. So,
Okay.
that you could do that as well. Is there do you have like a channel or anything?
Uh, well, I mean, outside
Are
of social media, I mean, I got like my Instagram. I got a YouTube that I'm not using just yet, but I would definitely love to follow you guys though. What's your
just look up Christ Side Productions,
you said
and then
Christ Side Productions?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey,
my
you'll
name,
see the logo.
yeah, my name is Conscious, man. You know what I'm saying? Just like it's spelled on the screen, you can just Google me. You know what I'm saying? Nobody arranged those letters in that reasons for any order. So, I mean, for any reason. So, if you Google my name, man, you can always get in contact with me in any shape, form, or fashion. But I think you, man, you look familiar. I'm looking at your picture. I don't even know I can't see you. You're not on the live, but Richard
Well,
got like a photo of you popped up. You look
he
familiar, man. Are you not? Were you with a group called Prodigal Son?
Uh, you talking about transparent?
Oh, are you transparent?
No, I'm not. I'm not. But I used to rap with him years ago, and that was like one of his AKAs was the Prodigal Son. That's why I didn't know if you was talking about him or not.
Okay, no. It was a group. It was a singing group of art. Like, it was kind of like R&B Christian, and it was called the Prodigal Sons. You look like one of the dudes from that group. But then you kind of, I won't say favor transparent, but your spirit, dude, and your mentality, man, your spirit
Uh,
and your mentality, dude, transparent. That's he's like a thin, dark skinned brother, right?
he dark skin. He was I used to go to the same church as him, and I was in his group. Like he was it was transparent in the airs and whatnot. So yeah, man,
Okay,
we were together for a few years.
okay,
oh
yeah. I used
sweet.
to. I don't know if you ever been through the spot. Back in the day, I used to host Club Judah in L.A. It was a spot they did every Saturday. It was like a little hip hop club spot called Club Judah in LA. You ever been through there?
Nah, I never been through there, but for whatever reason, it sounded familiar though, because there
Okay.
was a time where I was definitely trying to connect hard and network out here, but then you always hear about things in LA, so it does sound familiar.
Right. Yeah, but I know Transparent. If it's the same, if we talking about the same Transparent, I know he's doing big things up north. So yeah, that definitely sounds familiar. And then I did a couple of events and stuff where I got to run into him. So maybe I might have seen you up that way, man. But yeah, you definitely look familiar, my brother. But man, thank you for dropping through. Like I say, this is something that
Yeah.
my brother do Christ Side Production. This is my first time getting involved, and I love it. You know what I'm saying, man? Because again, this
Yeah,
is an opportunity that a lot of folks really need to take advantage of because we get iron sharpen iron, you know what I'm saying? And we need to get out there and be a pillar in the community. And we got to have a spot, man, where we can come through and weigh our opinions, you know what I'm saying, in a godly manner, you know what I'm saying, and still, you know what I'm saying, focus on right, brother. And right here, what Richard
I
is
agree.
doing, man, an outlet. So I hope you keep it up.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, yeah. I appreciate you joining in, man. I was I see it. I see a lot of your posts when you go on there. I'm always going by and I'm seeing you. You always have a lot of good things to say. So when I seen your post, I was like, let me hit him up and just see if he'll want to jump on in. So I appreciate that.
Oh,
Really
it's
do.
all good. It's all good. I appreciate both of y'all. One thing that I will, and I'll probably post it and just tag you in it. I think I posted it on the last post when you had told me about the live that was
Okay.
gonna happen today. But
Uh huh.
there's a 26-minute interview called "The Plague of Corruption." That
Mm.
alone, like I've already been like studying what's really going on, because we can't just take our information from Fox and CNN and NBC and
Right.
think that we
Uh-huh.
actually know what's going on. I have been like really like digging deep into this whole study of the virus and what's really going on. And it's crazy because doctors are being pressured to put COVID-19 on death
Right.
certificates. The
Mm-hmm.
mask is actually not really helping us, because there's good
Right.
things in the
Mm-hmm.
air that we breathe that help us
Come on,
fight off
man.
our immunity. So the more you wear a mask, the more acceptable to get sick. And so it's a bunch of stuff that like people are not really knowing. But I'm gonna leave that link and and send it to you guys so you guys can watch that interview, man. It's
Man.
something that really help. So
Hey
Okay.
man,
Yes.
come on,
Send
man.
that.
I'm open to I'm open to
Yeah.
all of that. Look, I'm more open to the underground news, man, than the main
Yeah.
media news, because
Yeah.
anything in
yeah,
the main media, man, that stuff is flawed. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
it's directed in a way to lead us towards deception. So my brother, man, yeah, like I say, like if you're on Facebook, I'm conscious, dude. Just like it's spelled on the screen, nobody else gonna have it. So as soon as you type it in, you'll get me. But I think we might be friends already, dude. I just don't know. I already feel a connection with you, dude. Even though I don't know, I don't think I know you, but I feel we got some kind of connection. So we might already be friends on Facebook or something.
yeah. I feel it, man. But I'll definitely look you up if we not, and I'll add you. And yeah, and I appreciate y'all, man. I really appreciate y'all. I'm gonna head on out, and then if you, like I said, y'all got any more of these, definitely put me tag me or something. Let me know, and I'll try to join.
Yes,
Definitely,
sir,
man. You got it.
Justin. We appreciate you, my brother, man. God
Appreciate
bless,
you, man.
You got it. God bless
All
you.
right. God bless. All right, there. That's what I'm talking about, man. That dude.
Man.
I hear sometimes the way he speaks, man. Mellow dude, mellow spirit, man. When he talks.
You can tell, dude. Like
Yeah.
I say, like I say, I don't know if I know him, but like I say, I almost got a feeling we're probably already friends on Facebook, dude. But just his spirit, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like spirit recognize spirit, and
Right.
that's a brother right there, dude. I can definitely,
Yeah.
again, like I told you, I guarantee you. The same thing like me and you, I can sit and talk to that dude for hours, and I guarantee you all we're gonna do is uplift and encourage and uplift and encourage and uplift and encourage. And dude, you can't knock that in life.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Imagine,
can't.
imagine
You
if that
can't.
was the focus, if that was everybody's focus on communication, dude, man, where would we be right now in this world?
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, man. And, I got my son was trying to reach out to me, but I gotta do this thing. Well, so well, man, you're sending a secret message or
Well, no, look, he hit me up and said, what did he say? I was laughing. I was laughing. I gotta look right
I
there
seen you.
now, man.
When I told you sent the message, I see you come back.
No, dude, look, this dude sent me some pictures of some gold teeth. Talking about, I'm thinking about buying a gold tooth. He was looking at Amazon, and he sent me the pictures on Amazon to get him a grill. I was like,
Daniel, this guy,
man, prodigal son is just stupid, dude. You crazy.
he needs to call. He needs to zoom in, man. He needs to zoom in over here. Hey, message him back and tell him to zoom in.
All right,
Yeah, message him back. Tell him to zoom in, man. Were you able to get a hold of Pastor Purpose?
Man, I had that purpose earlier, man. He was telling me that he had a lot of stuff on his plate or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I got a chance to chop it up with him, man. Like, and we was on the topic and we talking, and I'm telling him, like, dude, you need to be online with us tonight, man. You got too much meat, man. You got too much meat in your combo, dude, that we got, you know what I'm saying? He was like, man, I'll see what's going on. He said, I'm going to try to see if I can get in. But that dude, he just had a baby. And you know that's number 13. Dude, number 13.
Oh, he now he's going into the Spanish language. He's having number 13. Número 13.
Man, he just had number 13, dude. I'm like, man, God is good, man. That's a blessing. Especially in this day and time, dude. One family, man, 13 kids.
He needs to go buy an island. But hey, you know what, man? I think we've been having It's been an awesome time on here, man.
Yeah,
Been having
this is a blessing, my brother. You should do it more often.
I think I am. You know, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna just shoot this number out there one more time. 841-1005-4253. That is the Zoom meeting ID number. If you want to get in and you want to talk with us, Zoom in. Again, that number is 841-1005-4253. If nobody else comes in, we'll chop it up just for a little while. If nobody else comes in,
Right.
then I think we'll go ahead and just call it a night. I think we had a good time. I think we definitely sent a message.
Yes, sir.
Everybody that jumped in definitely spoke a message. Matt, we are talking about love, peace, and unity equals justice. We're talking about the George Floyd situation. We're talking about the rioting. We're talking about
What's the ID number again?
the protesting. The number again is 841-1005-4253. We're just trying to send a message of peace, and be like, we're all for the protesting. We're for it, but the rioting. Prodigal son, he's coming in.
That's what's up.
Come on, man.
It just hit me up. It was like, thumbs up. So I said, let me give him the ID number to make sure he
There it
know
is.
where we at.
Hey, we're just waiting. Okay, now you're on. How's it going, my brother?
There you go, my brother. What's good with you, man?
Just right here at the house, man.
That's right. Are you over there, VO represent? Huh?
Day.
You at the house, VO represent?
Hey, prodigal son or
Yes, sir.
Manuel, whichever one you want to go by. I seen in Whittier that they were doing some protesting over there.
Yeah. They believe they started on Sunday.
Uh-huh.
Well, what I thought was different, I don't know about if anyone else did the same thing, but they did it real peacefully.
Awesome.
They just they just protested, march up and on the streets, yelling out, George's name and no peace, no justice, but it was real peaceful. Like I said, to the point where if they seen a car coming, they will all move to the side, let the car pass, and
That's what I'm talking about.
but a lot of people are just standing in front of the buildings just in case, because it's always that one person that kind of messes it up for everything, and not only when you protest, but in everything, it's always just
Right.
a person just mess it up for the whole crowd and stuff. So yeah, one of the brothers had called me, reached out to me if I could go out there and give him a hand, just post up, make sure nobody does not nothing violent or anything to the building or surrounding buildings, because where our church is at, it's uptown Whittier, so it's like a whole strip of stores. It's just the whole street is nothing but stores. We got
Wow.
the movie theater. They got a few clubs and bars and stuff, but it's just like I said, it's just nothing but stores.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'm just glad that it was peaceful, man. Because some of our bigger cities, we ain't being so peaceful. I'm gonna bring in another guy. This guy's name is Martin. I'm gonna bring him in. He just came in, so see what he has to say as well.
Right, but real quick before you step in, I want to say this about VO though. It just goes to show, dude. Where are the churches at? And VO, one thing I've always said, and I'll never stop saying, I love about VO, dude. They're about the streets. When something happens, they're in the streets. When they're trying to preach the gospel, you're in the streets. They're trying to help the community, you're in the streets. You know what I'm saying?
In the
That
streets.
don't change in the ministry of VO. But you got all these other
You guys hear
churches
me?
all over the city, all
Yeah.
this chaos going on. Where they at?
Oh no, I got.
Yeah. Martin, you hear us?
Where they at?
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm just roaming around on the Facebook. Came across this stream, decided to say what's up. You guys seem like you're pretty friendly, so
Yeah. Well, what we're doing here is we are basically, we're talking love, peace, unity, equaling justice. We're talking about the whole deal with George Floyd. We're just talking about the rioting, the protesting and everything. But overall, our main message that we're trying to do is just continue to push peace. Like um I think you muted yourself. You probably hear me, but I think you muted yourself.
Yeah, you're
But
good.
oh, okay. So yeah. So basically, we're just in a place where we're just talking about it. And we're just trying to just be like a peaceful way of just sending out the message.
No, I get you. Yeah, I'm from San Diego, or I'm here in San Diego, and it's really surprising to see that it's even affected down here. This is a city that I never really thought I would see that in, because it seems to be very mellow, and they've smashed stuff downtown, and even a little city not too far, La Mesa
Mm,
had a couple of burnings too. But
mm.
no, I totally get you with the whole peace message, but it's sad to see that people will take advantage of the situation, and they will get lumped in with peaceful protests, and it kind of sullies the whole movement, and it's terrible, and I think that it will lead to some changes, but I think every day that this looting goes on more and more, it just makes sympathy for the cause just go down further and further. And it's sad to see. I
Yeah.
personally, like myself, I've never really had uh, bad confrontation with police, and of course, there's bad apples out there, but we're living in some historic times. I mean, it's been a crazy year, with
Yeah.
the
Yeah, that's
virus,
what I said. This year,
this,
this year been like the Matrix, man. Every month is like a new episode. Every
Yeah,
month is a
yeah,
new episode.
definitely. And then we have, tensions with China, and then, people forget that just earlier this year, there was the strike on the Iranian general over there, and they had a plane crash over there. They got shot down. It's just, it's a crazy, crazy time.
Right, but the main focus, look, the main focus right now, and one of the things that we're really trying to focus on, Martin, and I'm not sure where you are and where you stand as far as an influence in your community and the people that's around you, and what you could possibly do for what we do. You know what I'm saying? As far as making a difference, because that's like one of the discussions. We got to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, what can we do different? You know what I'm saying? To make a difference. And we can't, like right now, what the masses are doing is insanity. Looting, we've done it, no change. Protesting, we've done it, no change. Marching, we've done it, no change. And the definition of insanity is repeating the
It's
same
the same thing.
behavior, expecting a different result. So, just from your perspective, you know what I'm saying? You joining in, I don't know how much of the video you got to see before, but I know I've had this discussion with my brother, Prodigal Son, who's online before, and Richard before, but you kind of knew. So, just from you and your perspective, when it comes to
Yeah.
like a solution, what do you
Yeah.
think is a approach for a solution?
It's a very good question you asked there, because it's something that I've never actually really considered. I'm so used to seeing the world and just idly, stand by, and I've never really thought about that, and one thing, I just have a son not too long ago. He's 9 months, like 2 days ago, and it's really made me think about, the world that we live in now, and how I could be, a better influence, not just on him, but like you said, like my community in general.
Right.
And no, I mean, it's kind of like a sucker punch, that question, because to be honest, I've never really thought about that.
Right
But
now, look, now, I'm asking this question. I'm asking this question. Now, with me, you know what I'm saying? And if I'm not mistaken, because I'm kind of curious of your opinion, and if I'm not mistaken, you're Caucasian, brother, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No, I'm actually Hispanic. I'm Mexican.
Oh,
Oh,
Hispanic
okay.
brother. Okay, okay. Were you wrong too, Richard?
Yeah, I was wrong.
Okay,
I was
I just
wrong.
want to make
Hey,
sure. I
hey,
just want to make
hey.
sure I told him one because you was
I
Hispanic
just
too.
gonna I
So I
just
just
gonna
want
do
to make sure
something.
I told him.
I want to do it. We need to stop stereotyping, bro. I'm
But
telling you
no, I'm
now.
going by the voice sound. Like it's not a stereotype.
I
I'm
I
actually
know.
going by the sound of his voice because I
Yeah.
can't see his face. All I see is the word Martin.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
No,
can't.
I don't have a camera, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, me too. You know, me too. I went by his voice, but we stereotyped his voice.
That's fine.
So, but my question is this, man. One of the solutions that I was thinking, because I'm more of a, I don't want to hear the problem because I know the problem. I don't want to see the actions repeated because I see these actions repeated. So me trying to think of a solution, and what I think a logical solution is, I got to base this on righteousness and what I see as a foundation of the word of God. So solution one is everything that my brother Richard is promoting in this broadcast. Love, we got to have that. Peace, we got to have that. Unity, we got to have that. If those three things can come in a line, then we can focus on some form of how we're going to get a justice in a system once we've obtained love, peace, and unity. You see what I'm saying? So we got to get into that aspect of everything first. And I'm thinking like, dude, we've done everything. The only thing we haven't done is for all the people that's truly standing for righteousness, make a shift in the economic system, dude. That's the only thing that hasn't been done. And when I say all the people that stand up for righteousness, I don't want to try to say just all Black people, but I want to use an example of what I've seen work in my lifetime. And I remember back in the time when the immigration system was really coming hard down on the Hispanic community, and they did a protest. They without Mexicans.
Right.
All of that changed. Look, that all of that immigration and cruelty and everything was going on. Dude, it changed because they realized, whoa, if a group of people are standing up for one cause, they're not going to go to work. They're not going to participate economically. They're going to just separate themselves from society all at one time. Man, the high school kids was walking out of school on clockwork, looking at their watches. Up, it's 9 o'clock. Let's go. Boom. And when they left, when they said deuces, they showed pictures of the classroom. 3 or 4 kids. What is the school system going to do now? You normally had a classroom of 32 kids, and now that at 9 o'clock, 30 of them left.
Yeah.
You got no on your job. On your job, you got 100 employees.
That's
but on this day,
teachers.
right, and the teachers, everybody. On this day, 70% of the people don't show up for work. Now your job can't function. So when that happened, it made a stance, and they said, okay, let's do something about this. We got to curb this because this treatment is not fair. And if these people don't continue to have themselves in society the way we need them to be, then we're going to have a problem. And there was no violence involved in that. There was no, you know what I'm saying? It was all peaceful, but it was to a point to where it brought some attention to where something got done different. Now, imagine everybody that's standing up for righteousness. Yeah. Not a Black thing, not a brown thing, not a white thing, not a just righteousness.
Just righteousness.
Just righteousness. Everybody who's standing up for righteousness say, I'm not going to participate in a system of unrighteousness.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying here, and that's kind of, well, I mean, it's similar to how what you're saying here is, the message tends to be framed in, I guess, like the black and white thing, when it's, just a race involved. But if it all encompassing, if everybody was included, I mean, why does it have to be specifically, just white on black police issues? If, I mean, a lot of other races get abused too. Now, if it was just something entirely, like you're saying, if it was something for righteousness, definitely. I
But
think
that is righteousness, though, my brother Martin. That is righteousness. When we talk about the police on just the black and the police thing, and I watched a video the other day of this white officer and another white officer trying to subdue this white dude in his car, and they tussled and wrestled with him for about 5 minutes before they got him to the ground. And during the process of them getting him to the ground, he grabs one of their batons and he strikes one of them, strikes the other one. He jumps up. He runs to the police car. He gets inside the police car. Another police runs up on the side of the car and see the dude in the car. And he's trying to get the car started. He finally, after about another 2 minutes or a minute or two, gets the car started and then backs off and drive away, and nobody shot him.
Yeah.
Nobody shuts him down.
And nobody shot him. You know what I'm saying? And then we watched a black dude within 3 seconds. Within 3 seconds, get shot for resisting arrest.
Well, let me. I wanna just a little bit because
that's a different scenario, Martin. So again, we got to look at the whole point of righteousness on a scale. We're not trying to separate this to any certain scenario to try to say, look at this. We're looking at everything on a total scale.
because we are in a point where we're talking about also like good cop, bad cop, good people, bad people, right? And I saw that video that you were talking about. I also saw another video, and these were literally there. It was it ended up being a whole bunch of cops at one time, but they were trying to stop a black guy. All right, and the black guy was big, and the guy was like running up on the cops. He was like hitting them, swinging at them, but they also didn't shoot him as well. So it is a like where righteousness is stepping in. Like these cops, they could have had every opportunity. They didn't even use the taser on him. They tackled him. They ended up, it was when more cops showed up, it was like 6 cops ended up tackling him. This dude was huge, man. This guy was big. And in all actuality, and when we look at it, it would have been a time where it's like, if we look, I was sitting there like, I was just waiting to see if they were going to shoot him. You know?
But you got to also understand, Richard, in situations like that too, you got like small communities, okay? And then sometimes in small communities where you got a population of, I'm just going to use an example, 1,200 people, or say bigger than that. You got a population of 12,000 people in this one community. Everybody pretty much know everybody. So now in a situation like that, you can have a person who is known to have a mental disorder. Okay, and in a community of 12,000 people, everybody knows this person to have this mental disorder. So now
I wasn't sure of that.
No, I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just giving you an example.
I see what you're saying.
I'm just giving you an example. I don't know if this is that scenario or not. I'm just
I don't know.
Example. Now, in a community of so small, and this person might be black, but he's known to have a mental disability. So now when the police approach him, they're going to deal with him accordingly because it's such a small community. And if that's dealt with out of that context, then it's going to really be like, whoa, wait a minute, y'all knew this dude problem. Then when you're in a larger community, of like LA, New York, Chicago, where thousands of people, now this person's behavior is not known, they still deserve a certain treatment as long as they're not approached in a way of discretion.
Right. No. I agree. I wasn't sure. Like the area did look pretty highly populated, but I wasn't really there. I just saw a video. But you know, if we go back, I want to kind of go back with let's Prodigal Son's been on for quite a minute here, and he only got to speak a little bit. I want to get a little bit of his. I want to get some of his perspective. And then let's hear a little bit more from Martin. Let's hear a little bit more from them. The people have been hearing us all day.
I know. Hey, look, and I like to talk, so I'm gonna shut up.
Give
me some of your perspective, Prodigal Son.
Perspective on at least for the police thing. I mean, I have my experiences of running to what people call the bad cop, you know, the crooked cop, and I mean, not, and I'm gonna say not every cop is a bad cop, but you do got a good group of them that are out there just doing because of the badge, and I got the authority, and pretty much my word against your word. And I mean, they got to points where they stopped me. There was one time they stopped me saying, I look, the famous quote, you look like the guy we're looking for.
Right.
Mind you, the dude they were looking for, I walked from the opposite direction. I was on my way home, and they were talking about something that happened on this side when I'm walking from that side. And where they're saying I supposedly came from, it's like an hour walk. Like it was way on the other side of town. And they're trying to tell me I was a suspect that ran. Yeah. Talking about I ran from the scene. Yeah. Mind you, it's way out there. And I'm coming from the opposite side. So of course they searched me, put me in the cop car. Now mind you, where I grew up it was on the wrong side of like enemy's neighborhood. So they knew that I had some stuff in my wallet that had the name of the neighborhood and all this stuff. So they figured, okay, he lives in an enemy's territory. Put me in the car, drive me through their blocks with the flashlight in my face. I'm in the back seat, they got the flashlight in my face, and let all these guys see who's walked through here, blah blah blah. So they take me all the way to the station, handcuff me to the bench, and they're trying to figure out. I'm telling them, I don't have, ask me the questions, parole, are you on probation, are you this? No, I don't got nothing on me.
Right.
I was looking at my name, blah, blah, blah. So but my last name stuck out, and I have a unique last name. So my last name, they keep saying that name looks familiar, blah, blah.
You
So
cartel, homie.
Another cop, trip on this, so the other cop, no, they took me, first they took me to the crime scene. The crime scene it turned out to be a drive-by. The van crashed into the people's yard, and they said the people just ran. So when they took me out the car and they had all these lights in my face, and they had witnesses out there, is this the guy? Corey, okay, that's not the guy. The guy was taller. The guy was this, that, whatever. He's all we have. Something's on him. Something's on him. So that's why they took me back to the station. So looking at my name, then another cop comes in. What do we have here? And I got a couple of drunk guys, this, that. And he goes, now this guy, talk about me. We're trying to figure out who he is. Look at this thing. So they looked up my brother's name, and they were like, oh, yeah, his whole family's from that neighborhood. Start looking up every name.
We knew he had the right guy.
Yeah.
They had my brother's picture. Look, okay, look, I look exactly like my brother. So look, Van Luis Ambulance. Oh yeah, he's from that neighborhood too. So they ended up putting me on the what do you call it, the gang file. So then later on that day, or the next day, I go to my brother's house and I'm telling them what happened. Turns out that dude's my brother's probation officer. So that's like, yeah, he looks at my name and goes, oh, that's so-and-so's brother. Yep, he's from that neighborhood too.
Confirmation. We got confirmation.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
Like I said, it was just harassment because, like I said, there was two things. There was no way I was gonna walk from way out there. Whatever happened out there, there's no way I was gonna get to where I was in that small amount of time. Plus, coming from the opposite direction, I mean, for them to do that, flashlight on my face. Sometimes they do it purposely with the handcuffs too tight, and I mean it's just a bunch of stuff. So I understand where we would get frustrated as a people saying, okay, pretty much enough is enough.
Right.
And I mean it doesn't have to lead to, my opinion, don't have to lead to looting. I mean, I guess you could say I could say it both ways, because one, okay, why you looting is just protest peacefully without the looting. But at the same time, if you're gonna loot, why are you looting your own neighborhood? You don't have nothing as it is. We got nothing as it is. You're gonna take literally what we got. And okay, when the South Central riots happened, buildings were burned down. Okay, after everything was all said and done, nobody was looting no more. Now where you gonna go get your groceries?
Right.
Now we use them shots.
Now you
Yeah.
right. Now you created a big inconvenience for
Nah,
yourself.
thanks. Thanks.
Uh,
No, I gotta get on the bus to go to the other
Yeah.
side of town.
Exactly.
And that's
Yeah.
that's one thing I don't get about the dude. I mean, okay, if you're mad, okay, but why in your own neighborhood? And then they're screaming, "You don't care about this neighborhood. You don't care about us." Well, you're destroying your own neighborhood.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's kind of it's really it's an oxymoron, you know. It contradicts everything that you want to speak. Oh yeah, back up your neighborhood, this and that, but then you
Yeah.
want to destroy it.
Yeah,
You know,
Right.
so
it,
it's like
it, it, it's just it's just a lot of mixed emotions where
It's a temporary. It's emotion. Emotions are temporary.
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Emotions are
And
temporary. That's why the
I
God
can
we serve. That's why the God we serve is not an emotional God.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I can see that okay, they're angry, they want to get the point across. But then, like today, when I was at the church, they were just marching up and down, saying what they're gonna say, and that was it. And there was no breaking windows, there was no nothing like that, which was cool. But we still stood out there, just like I was telling Brother Richard. There's always that one dude in the crowd that's gonna mess it up for everybody.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and they were just like, hey, come down, you can help us out with security. You never know. There's gonna be that one dude in the crowd.
Mhm.
Like, all right,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
But what
Yeah.
I was telling, what I was telling Brother Richard, and what I was saying, what I've been saying on social media, and I don't know if my brother Martin's still online to hear this.
Yeah, he's still here.
We
Yeah, I'm
we
here.
we gotta be aware that the media know, and they've exposed a group of people that are in the midst of the crowd of the protesters, and their mission is to incite the riot.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you're not going out there with the covering and the spirit of God, and again, I gotta give big ups, every time because
VO.
look. Only reason why I'm saying VO, look, why I'm giving big ups to VO because before this, the foundation of VO and everything
Streets.
has been about the streets.
Streets.
Yeah.
Bringing peace into the streets. So they're organized. They know how to do it. They got a structure about it because VO don't operate without structure.
Right.
So people got to understand that. You know what I'm saying? And if anybody that's like myself as a Christian rapper that has the opportunity to have done any events at VO, you'll see the difference of going to a VO church and the structure and the organization and the way they operate outside of any other church. And I done been to a lot of churches.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I see the structure, and every VO church is the same. It don't change. The structure is the same. So when you step out, like I was telling Richard about even what he's doing right now, structure. Everything operates better and is more productive when it's done in a structure. So VO has a structure already of reaching the streets.
Right.
So for VO to organize something in a mass numbers like they do all the time and take these things to the streets, it's completely organized from security to the head to the people involved. Everything is no loopholes in the midst of it. So for VO to go out and do a protest, those folks, whatever they call them, the Antifa or the whatever
Antifa.
these people that's in these protests that's trying to incite the riots, they wouldn't have no effect in a VO protest.
Oh yeah.
They won't be effective.
They would be shut down so quick. They would be the ones shutting down. Yeah.
Exactly. It's gonna stand out like a red thumb because as soon as they start doing it, it's gonna be whoa, y'all ain't in our protocol. We organized here. We got a structure here. And what you doing ain't part of the structure, and it's gonna get exposed. You see what I'm saying? And you got folks out there in these protests that their mission is to incite the riot. You can go out there with the mentality of peace, but when they get involved in what their mission is, they're gonna bust a window. Now here you got a bunch of people living in poverty, just looking for an outlet, an excuse to feel good, an emotional feeling. For me to run into this store and grab this stuff out right now, I'm gonna feel good temporarily.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna feel a sense of
I'm gonna go get my
accomplishment.
flat screen.
I'm gonna feel a sense of accomplishment. But look, this wasn't my motivation when I came out. But since these folks busted that window open and I can go in there and do it now, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And I'm gonna feel like a pride of a sense of accomplishment. So we got to look at the what's causing the chaos.
Yeah.
And if they know, if they know that you got this group of people that's out doing this, then don't put your focus on the effect of what's happening. Put your focus on them folks. Bust them out.
Yeah.
Get in there and get rid of them.
I seen a video of one of those groups. I guess they were hitting up a wall.
I can add to some of this.
Yeah, and the lady was some black lady was like, whoa, what are you doing? He said, yeah, the media's gonna turn around and see this and then totally blame us. And it was two white chicks. And they're like, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're backing you up. Yeah, but we didn't tell you to write that on the wall.
Right.
When they look at this wall, whoever in the news takes a picture, they're not gonna picture you. They're gonna picture, the black girl, whoever was around at that time. And yeah, they had I don't know how, because a lot of stuff they like you say they put on social media, especially at a time like this, is to make it worse or pump people up. Like, oh look, you don't know, like for instance, the video about the mom chasing the son because she was in the riot.
Right.
Somebody had posted the video. I'm like, oh snap. And
but that's old.
Yeah, but when I sent it to you, I think I sent it to you, Conscious. And then I was like, I was tripping out like, damn, it's Mount Wakata. I was laughing, When what's his name? What's dude's name from the DJ from what was it?
12 Tribe?
What's his name? The DJ from Club Judah.
Oh, David.
Yeah. And when David put, I guess, the original one, look, this is on like, but stuff like that. People with this
that got me too. You know what I'm saying? Because of everything that's going on, I looked at that video and I thought it was something that was happening right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. People will put stuff to either. And so I seen this picture where in this parking lot, they said somebody put a few pallets of bricks just out there.
Oh yeah.
And wait a minute.
I've seen several videos. Like I seen a video on TikTok with a police. It was a police car and two police officers in an alley pulling bricks out the back of their truck and positioning them in spots behind a building where people was gonna be protesting on the street around the corner.
And there was another picture I seen where they had these little cages where it looked like little square cages along the street and those filled up with rocks.
Yeah.
So the stuff is staged. So now when we're looking at it from the position that this stuff is staged, you got people in the protesters that's their position to incite riots. You got the police and other people setting up the ability for them to be able to accomplish this goal. We got to look at the big picture. Where's all of this coming from and what's the reasoning? They're letting this happen.
Well, one thing I want to maybe jump in here with this when we're talking about this organization. So Antifa, which is short for anti-fascist organization, it actually has
a
long
the group,
history.
Right.
Yes,
exactly.
Antifa. Well, one thing that it's finally kind of getting out there a little bit more of the existence of this group, but they've been around for a long time, and they're predominantly a communist organization. Their whole goal is to overthrow the government, and they do it through various means. They've been well involved in lots of protests in the past, especially like they're really centered in like Portland, very liberal cities like Portland, LA, and they do this stuff, and there's different tiers that they have, and they escalate violence to certain stages. Like there's some people that just simply will just tag things, but then you got to understand that there's a lot of organization behind this group, and
Right.
they just announced not too long, like a couple of days ago, maybe 2 days ago, where the Trump said basically labeled them a terrorist organization. But the thing is, though, for a long time, the media has kind of given them a pass, or have kind of not, but shown them in a positive light, such as, hey, you can't be, if they're anti-fascist, they can't be bad. But what they don't understand is that they stand for like the complete overthrow of the government, and they have, like I said, the funds and the organization to get this stuff done, because they are and it's not just them too. I'm pretty sure there's other groups involved. Like, I can't really explain if the cops actually have been involved with some of the
Well,
setting
I
up
mean,
stuff.
to me, it's obvious that the cops are involved.
Oh yes,
I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. To me, it's obvious that the cops are involved in this, just basing off the opinion of me experiencing the '92 riots and the response
yeah.
to the activity of the '92 riots compared to the response of what's going on right now.
I
Is a
can't
very big difference.
I
You know what I'm
can't
saying?
recall the name of it exactly, but there's a certain name to that type of police involvement, where they're just basically instigating something. They want to step it over a line so that they can shut it
Well,
down.
I mean, in
It's
the '92 riots, it wasn't a matter of instigation. It was a matter of exercising their authority.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And from my perspective, because I was out in the streets then, my lifestyle then, I was in the streets when everything was going on during that time. And when I seen their response to that '92 riot, their immediate response was, we need to show authority and we're in control. Then once they realized, like, whoa, we don't have the numbers to control everything in the city. So right now, let's focus on what's the monetary, what's more monetary value, like the banks, the jewelry stores, and stuff like this. So they mobilize themselves to secure those things, and then waited for the National Guard to come in and secure the citizens.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's how it went down in '92. This time around, it's a total different approach. It's like, do what you want. We want this to escalate. Make it look as bad as you can make it look, because we need martial law right now.
Mm. Can I touch on this?
Hey, real quick, you guys. Prodigal son, he has to step off right now, so I just want to tell him thanks for joining in, man. Appreciate you. Next time, we'll hit you up on the next one.
Yeah, bro. No problem.
All right. Thank you, my brother.
All right.
Salute, my brother.
Much love,
Salute.
bro.
All right, Martin, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, what I was saying is, because I don't want to touch too much on politics, because, I think it muddles things up. But
Of course, yeah.
I think, and this is my personal opinion, is that they are kind of definitely standing by and letting these things happen, because they want this chaos to occur, and it would make the president look bad. But then again, you have the president who can't necessarily directly intervene stateside, because there's still states' rights, of course. It has
But
to be a governor.
I'm not looking at it as it to make the president look bad. You know what I'm saying? Because the president don't have control over,
Yeah,
unless he has something to do with. If
yeah,
the
yeah,
president has
state
nothing
level.
to do with, if he has nothing to do with, then he has no guilt about what's going on. So to make him look bad, for this situation to make him look bad, I don't agree with that. But what I do agree with is he has something to do with. And what I do agree is that he has something to do with, and all of this is just a plot and a chance for him to get controlled by martial law.
Right. Well, at the end of everything, there is martial law would be called by the president, but like you said, at the end of it, at the end of it, whether he has the right to call martial law, it's still going to boil down to how we're acting, we as the people, because we could put
Exactly.
a
That
stop to
will give
martial
him
law.
the authority. But look, the behavior, they're triggering the behavior to give him that authority that he would have under martial law. And everybody's falling into the trap.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
So at the end of it, if we can stay away from the destruction, stay away from the looting, stay away from the vandalism, and do a peaceful protest, protest in love, peace, unity, back to it, it equals justice. You know, and I do believe, I believe that that's because that's overall, that's the message here. That's the message overall. You know, understanding that, you know, we don't have to be out looting, because at the when we're looking at, even at the looting, let's just put all politics to the side. Let's put the politics to the side. What is the looting doing? What is the vandalism doing? What is
It's
the
not
destruction doing?
accomplishing nothing. It ain't accomplishing nothing.
There's one thing that it's accomplishing, and that's the destruction of other homes. You know, from businesses, people owning their businesses, people building their businesses. People have spent life savings into businesses. There was a privately owned Apple store over on Melrose, and when they started looting and destroying Melrose, they broke into it and they stole over $200,000 worth of equipment.
Now look, this is kind of crazy. I'm gonna compare what you just said to '92. In '92, they didn't get nowhere near Melrose. They didn't let them nowhere near Melrose in '92. Nowhere near it. They allowed that. If they hit anything on Melrose in this riot, I didn't even know that, dude. If they got anywhere near Melrose during this situation, they let them do it.
Yeah, because last time they had National Guard all lined up.
Dude, come on, dude. You wasn't getting nowhere near Melrose in '92, dude. That wasn't even an option.
Yeah. But, you know, at the end of it, my point was with the man is that the man says, if my insurance covers it, then I'm okay. But if my insurance don't cover it, I'm out of business.
And that's another part of the whole twist. COVID-19 put a lot of businesses in jeopardy. But now these riots, you know, bust their stores open. And if they're orchestrated, these undercover, and whatever that dude Martin called him, I keep forgetting the name of him. Whatever he called him.
Is it Antifa?
Antifa.
Antifa.
And they strategically hitting the stores so these people can get their money back from insurance.
It's crazy though. It's completely crazy. And if we could just we have to go back to understanding, man. It's gonna be the change of our reaction to George Floyd. If we could change up that destruction, the vandalism,
the insanity.
We have the insanity. That's the key word.
Is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity. We
have to change that. We've
rioted. We've looted. We've burned buildings. We've done these things over and over and over again, and there has not been no result. So that's insanity.
Yep. No, that's pretty much it. We have to change the approach.
These undercover institutions, like, and I can't remember the name my brother Martin said, but
Antifa.
Their Antifa is feeding off the insanity. They're feeding off the insanity. You're doing the same stuff over and over again. You ain't getting no results. So we're going to feed off of that and then use that against you. And people falling into that trap.
Go ahead, Martin.
What's really I find really funny about the Antifa organization, that a good amount of them tend to be Caucasian, white people who come from middle class or upper class backgrounds. And what that is, I mean, a lot of people don't really address this, but universities are a breeding ground for that. They have
Oh,
professors that are actively, kind of encouraging this behavior, kind of like leading down that pathway. And I encourage you guys. I mean, if you ever get the chance to just kind of look up the organization or just kind of do a little research on them, you'll find out how they've been involved in a lot of stuff. And I've seen some really encouraging videos, like on Twitter and Snapchat and whatever, about of them protesters, peaceful protesters, finding these guys in the crowd, calling them out and stopping them. Or I think there was one in DC where they had one of these Antifa guys was breaking up the sidewalk to make
biggest part,
stone.
that organization is just another terrorist cell of in-home terrorism, which is white supremacy. White supremacy is in-home terrorism, and that organization is a part of that.
What's hilarious, I mean, what's is funny is that they are very very vocal about them being all about equality. They're anti-racist, and but their actions do not speak to that. I mean, they are going in and encouraging this violence and this destruction
Yeah.
in these neighborhoods, like these black neighborhoods and stuff like that. That, yeah, you're exactly right. They're white supremacists, and do they even realize that, or do they fully realize that? Excuse me.
You know, I think that it could be just an overall picture, but I'm trying not to take too much of the conversation this way, you know. I really want to, you know, really would just love to just get to the of understanding, like, hey, we the people are going to make the difference.
Yes.
And if we keep if whether it's the Antifa or whatever that is starting all these things, if we give into that, then we're going right into the plot. We're falling right into their plot, you know. And that's where it's like, at the end of it, we have to be the ones to make the bigger stand, stop the people in their tracks, call them out if we see them doing something off from what it is, and we just have to keep it peaceful, you know. That's
and
really
the major way to do that, and this is just my perspective of the formula. If we go out there in unity, in number, praising God,
yeah,
standing on the scriptures of righteousness,
right.
demanding justice through the word of God, and that's our foundation, and that's how we stand forth in these streets, and we come through with that. That will expose whatever that organization, I can't remember the name again.
I sent you the name.
They won't be able to infiltrate because, man, I think that name is a Satan, dude. That's the devil. Them people are the devils, man. Just like the supremacists, the people that are promoting all of this hate and everything that is going on. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like it was one of the cries that the people were saying with what's going on in society. Dude, when it comes to injustice and the people that are suffering from it the most, dude,
Right.
asking for is justice.
That's it.
Just want peace, want righteousness, want the things that we've been taught to stand on as a foundation of God to just manifest itself in reality in society. So these things that we're standing on, as long as we come in approach of those things, like I use Martin Luther King as an example, like I've been saying all along in this discussion, they protest in the name of righteousness. Protesting today ain't the same. These folks are out there protesting in the name of so-called justice that we've never been receiving. Until things change, we're never going to receive. So stop repeating the insanity. Do something different.
Yeah.
Do something different. Don't keep doing the same thing that you've been doing and not getting any results from. Burning down a building ain't never changed nothing. looting these stores ain't never changed nothing. That's a temporary satisfaction for the emotional state that you're in because of a system that needs to change.
Yep.
We got to focus on what's going to change the system.
Yep.
Gotcha. All right, guys. I'm gonna actually have to take off now, but I just wanted to thank you guys for letting me talk with you. You guys definitely spreading that positive message out there, and yeah, I hope yeah, definitely some wise words, I'd have to say.
All right, we appreciate it. We appreciate you zooming in. I keep want to say calling, but we're zooming. We're zooming in.
Yes,
You know, so I appreciate you zooming in. Do appreciate the conversation with you, my brother. You know, just continue to stay safe out there, and just remember to try to stay positive as we're out there.
Definitely.
I'm the type of person before you take out, Martin. I don't like to say nothing behind nobody's back. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to be forward and up front. I really wish you would show your face, my brother, because I don't think you're Hispanic. I don't think you're Hispanic. You sound like a white boy to me. You sound like a white boy to me, and I think you white. You get off the line. I still think you white until I see your face, my brother. I don't think you Hispanic, man. I'm sorry. I do think you're a white dude, man.
Do you guys
I just want to say that.
do you guys do like a regular show or what?
I'm periodically. I have what you call having coffee with God every morning, where I get on. I was getting on at 6 o'clock, but when everything started happening, it kind of messed with my schedule with my kids. So I get on anywhere between 6 and I could say 10 o'clock. And basically, what I do that show. This is my normal daily thing where I read the Bible, I explain it, I share it. And just kind of just put it into today's perspective. Conscious always comes on with me. He loves when I'm talking with about the Bible and everything.
Dude, I love the Bible. Like, I love the truth. I can't even lie, dude. I love the truth, man.
You know,
I love dissecting the truth.
So you know that's my daily show, and then every once in a while, you know, based on topics or perspectives, you know, things, you know, when things are happening, we just try to send out words of encouragement. And this is a social media is a strong you could say, yeah, it's a platform now. So you know, we do this just to try to just spread encouragement.
All right. Well, if I ever catch you guys again, I have to grab my wife's computer that has the camera on it so I can show her face.
Right.
No problem. No problem at all.
For sure. And then me, man, you see how I spell my name? I'm the KHANCHUZ. Nobody in the world arranged those letters for any reason. So I'm worth the Google. All you gotta do is Google me, man.
All right.
Yeah, you'll catch it.
Write that down. All right, guys. Well, take care.
All right, Martin. You have a good night. You too.
God bless. Like, wow. I wanted to say that. Like I wanted to say that before he got off because I'm gonna say it right now. Dude, I don't think that dude was no Mexican. Dude, he sounded like a white boy. His question, his attitude, look, everything, dude. Yeah, I think he was looking like, honestly, I think he was part of that group that he was talking about. He knew so much about him. He knew so much about him, dude.
Stop it.
I think he was part of that group, dude. And he was just eavesdropping in on our conversation to see what we were talking about.
Martin, I apologize. Yeah, stop.
That's why I look like I don't like to talk about nobody behind their back. That's why before he got offline, I wanted to let him know. Like, I wanted to let him know how I felt because I knew what I was gonna say once he got offline, dude.
You're right. You're right, man. Hey, you know what? I think we had a pretty awesome show, though, man. Just with the
this was tight, man. I love it, dude.
I think we had I think this was a pretty awesome show, man. I think we had people, you know, just an awesome Zoom. The amount of people, we got some good response. People, you know, people responding to us in good ways. They're just checking us out. They're laughing. They're laughing with us and everything. So you know.
That's right. And like I said, I seen on my live. You know, on my live. I had like a lot of people. Oh, it canceled on me over here, I think. On my live, I had like a lot of people that was like tuning in and stuff, and checking it out and everything. And we kept dropping the link. So, you know, again, if it's something, man, that you do, everything takes, you know what I'm saying, effort. Keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? I think more people would jump in, you know what I'm saying? Especially during this time right now to give people an outlet. Because as a counselor, one thing I know, to be able to talk about something and get it off your chest helps you mentally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And helps you to deal with it to a point to where, like, let me get some other opinions. Let me see, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where these different opinions is. And then what I love too, dude, like I say, that dude Martin, man, I guarantee you.
Stop.
Man, but
Yeah,
the
right.
truth need to be
Stop.
heard. The truth need to be heard. The truth
Stop,
need to be
bro.
heard. You know what I'm saying? Because when you come in the name of God, look, when you come in the name of God, dude, that infiltrates the enemy and it touches and it pierces people's heart, dude. And as long as we come with the truth and we stay in the aspect of righteousness, we cannot step out of the circle of righteousness, dude.
We just gotta react. I mean, at the end of it, I think the final word, it wasn't just about love, peace, or unity, man. It was about it's about the righteousness. We got to keep our heart right. We have to keep our heart righteous. What are we doing it for? Why are we doing it?
That's right.
Check ourselves, check our own heart. We are in a place where this can go either way, but it's our choice. This can either go good or it could just get worse. But at the end of it, us the people, we make that decision, we make that choice. When we're out there looting and all that stuff, we're hurting us, we're hurting the people that we're looting against, and then not
That's
just
right.
that, we're forcing government officials to apply the pressure of authority upon us. And then you can't sit here and complain about it if you're not willing to change or make change your
That's right.
ways or do it differently.
Right.
And at the end of it, is it worth destroying our home? Is it worth destroying our nation? No, it's not. People die on a daily basis. Of course,
But keep this in mind. I've heard some people say to that aspect, those aren't our stores. Those aren't I don't own that. You don't own that. But again, kind of like Prodigal Son said, what inconvenience are you making to yourself by destroying the stuff in your own community?
Yeah,
Okay, true enough. Those might not be your businesses, but it was a convenience for you that you no longer have now that you destroyed it. But then, what your pops was saying earlier, now you reaping what you sow at the same time. Because now the store you destroyed has caused some devastation on the family and the people who owned it.
Right.
And now you reap. So it's just the act and the behavior, the repercussions of it has so much negative consequences.
Right.
That you have to think differently.
Right.
You have to think differently.
You have to.
The last thing I want to say, because I know you're going to close. Cognitive behavioral therapy teaches understanding of changing the behavior. Okay? It lets you understand that by facts, the first thing that creates a situation in any situation that you're ever involved in are people, places, or things.
Right.
Okay? There with no situation you're going to ever involve that's going to encounter you in life. Either the situation is going to be a person, the situation is going to be a place, or the situation is going to be a thing that encounters you in your life, or a combination of the three. Now, every situation, when it's over, there'll be consequences.
Right. That's the
okay. Consequences aren't a bad thing. The word has a bad stigma. When you hear the word consequence, it's always, ooh, that's bad.
Right.
The consequence just mean the conclusion.
Yeah.
This situation is over. The situation with that person, place, or thing, or the combination of the three has now come to a conclusion, and the conclusion leaves these consequences.
Right.
Okay. Now, to get from the solution to the consequences, there's a formula.
Right.
That you can control. There's a formula that's in every person's control if they manage every step from the situation to the consequences. Right. Now, from a biblical perspective, the situation can cause you to sin. And the consequences is death.
Right.
And every situation is a person, place, or thing. So from a
Right.
spiritual perspective, you're looking at a person, place, or thing that can cause you to sin, and the consequences are going to be death.
Right.
Now, switching that over to a reality situation again, not speaking from a spiritual perspective, the consequences could be good or bad.
Right.
If you don't sin, you ain't got to worry about the bad consequences and no death. The good could be because of the choices you make in that situation. Every situation is going to cause you to have a perspective. How you
That's
see
right.
it is how you think about it. How you
Right.
think about it is how you're going to feel. How you feel creates the behavior.
That's right.
And then
That's right.
that behavior causes the consequence.
Right. That's it.
So from the start, we got to start with the proper perspective.
Yeah. We gotta get that proper perspective down.
That's the eyes of Christ.
That's it. That's
The
it.
proper, the only way you gonna have the proper perspective is to have the eyes of Christ.
Right.
And look
Right.
at these situations through the eyes of Christ and of righteousness.
That's right.
Then
That's
once
right.
you obtain that proper perspective, you're gonna gain the right thoughts, the right feelings, the right behavior that's gonna lead to the responsible consequences in any situation. But
That's right.
once you do not look at the perspective through the eyes of Christ and gain the right perspective, your thinking is disordered. You're gonna feel wrong. Your behavior choices is wrong, and the consequences are gonna be devastating.
Yep. Yep. That's it.
That's how when it comes to the protesting and everything, that first situation needs to, let's look at this through the eyes of Christ.
That's right.
How are we going to protest in righteousness? How are we going to make sure that we reach the goal of justice? Because that's what we want the consequences to be. We want the conclusions of everything to be that there's justice involved.
That's right.
So we got to start with the eyes of Christ, righteousness, so we can think clearly, feel correctly, choose the right behaviors,
Right.
and then reap the consequences of justice. And it's not going to happen if we're not going out there in those mass numbers giving glory to God. This is the time to cry out to the Lord, dude.
That's it. Let me get over here. Hey, we want to thank everybody that has tuned in with us. With me and Boy Conscious, we had Prodigal Son, we had Martin, we had Justin King. We had I forgot our very first guest. I forgot her name. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. But anyways, we just want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you guys want more, tune in to the you could go to YouTube and subscribe to the Christ Side Productions, and we're gonna press the alert and you'll get all the notifications when we're on. Again, thank you for tuning in. Hang tight, Conscious, as I shut everything down real quick.
For sure.
And you guys be blessed. And just remember, love, peace, unity equals justice. Let's keep the mind of Christ as we're out there. Righteousness, and let's make a difference in a proper way. Amen. God bless you guys. Don't forget to bless somebody and be blessed.
We love you. Peace.